Okay, and we're live. Wow, this is new.
This is new, yeah.
Look at this.
Ooh.
Aaron, what's this in the top left? The Bad Podcast.
What is the Bad Podcast?
Don't know. Do you want to tell me a little bit about it?
Well, bad, obviously. Just because we're bad, you know, we're fucking idiots. But more on it. Hello, we are Ben, Aaron, Dalton, aka Bad.
Yes.
And this is where, as the title on my stream says at least, drunk twats talking complete bullshit for 2.5 hours.
This is the beginning of the Bad Podcast. So welcome to everyone watching right now.
Welcome. Yes. Much to the title, what is everyone drinking?
Well, I think tonight Dalton and I have got a cheeky little beer and some whiskey on the side.
Yes, and we got to be exact.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's always got to be
I-
like a winner.
I have gone for a red wine, a Rioja.
A red wine, so
Ooh.
fancy.
It is blurring itself
Foncé.
with my camera focus. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, fancy.
Very
Very
fancy.
foncé, yeah. Mm.
Yes. Hello to everyone in both chats, by the way.
Yeah.
We will still be reading chat. It's just we won't be talking back as much as we usually do.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll
And
be talking within ourselves.
throughout the podcast tonight, if you have any questions relating to anything we're talking about, feel free to message in the chat, and we'll discuss it as much as we can.
Yeah.
So it'll make for some interesting starting points, really.
Yes. We're hoping to do this once every 2 weeks.
Every fortnight.
But it's kind of like a trial period, see how well it goes. We'll work on it a little bit. Also, how does everyone like the logo? I spent approximately 4 minutes this afternoon making it because I forgot to do it
I
during
think
the week.
it's pretty good, to be honest. It sums us up perfectly.
Yeah.
Hot
Just
neon pink. That just, that is the
It's
brand.
my
blends
colour.
in with the blue.
Personally, it's my colour. You know, I
Yeah.
wear it all the time.
I would agree.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go for a bit of Alexa, set room light to pink.
Oh,
Yeah.
saucy.
There we go. There
Very
we go.
nice.
There we go. There we
Well,
go. That
the-
just looks white. That just looks like
It
white
does look
screen,
white,
but
The chat seems to be enjoying the logo, so that's a good start.
hey, nice.
If anything's going to go right in this podcast, it's going to be the logo.
That's the only thing that is probably going to go right.
Yeah. So Oscar's just said that you've made his Alexa turn on.
Good.
You've got
That's
some
what I aim
powers.
for.
Got
I
some
have
powers
power
there.
now. You should have told me this.
You're going to keep using that to his advantage now, Oscar. You
Oh
made a mistake
no,
there.
I can't. Oh no, I did a bad thing. It's already fucking up. There we go. Whoopsies. Can't touch that screen anymore. Logo bad? Fuck you.
You're banned.
Fuck you, Jacob. I made it in yeah. How long was I making it for, Dalton? Because you were in chat with me when I was doing it.
Like 20 minutes.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Didn't
Too
go
long.
very well.
I
Oh
think it went
god. Don't know god me.
Right, should we get onto the first talking point of the night? I think it would
Yeah,
be a
sure.
good place to start. Right, so TV shows / childhood TV shows. What did you get up to in your childhood? What made you stay indoors and avoid being social? I want to hear it.
I think I speak for all of us when I say Wizards of Waverly Place was the one.
100
I
fucking
Drop my
percent.
phone.
If I recall correctly, that was a very strange show, wasn't it?
It was not strange.
Yes. It was a little bit.
Yeah, it was
strange.
really strange, yeah.
I'm
just being
but,
biased
you know-
for Selena Gomez.
But yeah, Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez.
That's a different talking point.
That's
Oh.
a different talking point, yeah, altogether. It was a bad one to start from with me. Sorry.
See, I was one of those childs that was did not have access to the Disney Channel because we didn't have Sky. So I'm one of those CBBC kids.
Ooh.
Right.
I think if
Okay.
you watch CBBC, you grew up poor, and if you had Sky and you had the Disney Channel and Nickelodeon, then you were fairly well off.
Oh, but
I wouldn't say well off.
you know about the the Futurama, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've always been in the opinion Futurama was better than The Simpsons.
Oh, I
In
don't
some
know.
ways,
I might have to disagree with you there.
I
Oh,
can
really?
sort of agree.
I
As I
grew up
got
on
a little
Simpsons.
bit older, I preferred Futurama.
Yes.
When I hit like
so,
14, 15, I preferred Futurama to Simpsons.
So when I think at the same like moment, so when I hit like 12, 13 was when I started watching that stuff. Simpsons had fallen off the face of the planet with the new stuff. Like the new
Yeah.
stuff was awful.
I
The
agree.
OG. Yeah.
Yeah, so my brother and my sister and I, we used to have like family nights. After dinner, we would go into the lounge and we'd put on The Simpsons every single night. We would watch it. But I have to agree, the old school Simpsons, that was top notch.
Oh,
As
yeah.
Jazz has just said in the chat, the classic Simpsons is Pog.
Yeah, completely agree there.
Completely agree. But yeah. Futurama though, oh, it's different breed of show.
Very good.
Like
It was very,
very
very good.
good. It was
Don't forget, made by
really-
the same people as well. It's Matt
yeah.
Groening.
So
did
Matt
both.
Groening, yeah.
So-
True. All of the same kind of comedy styles coming from it. But I don't think I really connected with Futurama as much.
It was one of
I can
those
understand why.
things where, yeah, I definitely can understand why. It was one of those shows that was I'd get angry at if someone took it off recording. Because I used to record like every episode. I think everyone has that like one episode that they used to record when they were younger, and just like if someone took it off, you'd like fucking punch someone.
See, I don't know if the age gap is too much. I know there's only 2-3 years, but Fairly Odd Parents. Did you ever watch that?
I did. I loved it.
That
Fairly
was
Odd
a
Parents.
fantastic show.
Odd Parents.
Fairly Odd Parents. Yeah. Oh, that
Yeah.
that
I'll sing
brings
this.
back memories.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
what was
those
the
were
name?
the easy
Fucking
days.
Sicky Vicky.
I think there were
what?
some definitely strange shows on
I think that's
CBBC.
something
that
else you're naming, Aaron.
I just
No,
don't
no.
know how they were able
Icky
to swear.
Vicky, Icky Vicky, fuck
Icky
off.
Yeah, there we
Vicky,
go.
what was
I was
that?
going to say, the first thing you said was definitely not children's stuff.
Yes, it was. Shut up.
So we got people in the chat saying a bit of iCarly, Zoe 101. Can't say that I've ever heard
never
of.
watched Zoe 101.
No.
I never
Never.
watched Zoe 101. I watched Victorious.
I watched iCarly
Victorious,
as well.
okay. iCarly, I think that was. I used to have a neighbour that luckily had Sky and Nickelodeon, so was friends with them for
Yeah,
the TV
I've-
really, and we we used to
I-
watch things like iCarly.
Yeah, so
I
it was
think
my
I've generally watched
grand-
every episode of iCarly.
it was my grandparents that had Sky, so I could only watch it like certain days after school. But then I'd always convince my parents, "Oh, I want to go to the grandparents' house to like help out and stuff because they're old." Nah, I just want to watch TV. I'd do
Yeah.
like 5 minutes of like cleaning the garden and go watch TV for 2 hours.
Yeah, this is going to link onto a later topic in the evening, but this specific neighbour was they had access to Sky, so I was friends with them for the TV really. Yeah, it sounds horrible
Fair.
of me,
Nah, it's
but,
fine.
It
You
works.
have to do things in life.
Exactly, you have to make sacrifices. And
Yeah.
you gotta
Sometimes
do-
people don't
I
like
realized
it.
what future step it is. I was like, "Oh, is that one? No, that one. Oh, that one. Okay." Ooh,
But I think it was worth it. It was definitely worth it.
definitely
Oh,
worth
yeah.
it. Obviously. Yeah. Oh, what other shows did I used to watch?
I'm trying to think of the name of one. Is where the guy, the boy in it, was a soup. He got his powers, and he was in a video game at the same time. He was from the video game or something. It's a superhero thing. I can't remember the name of it.
I
It's
have
really annoying me.
No idea what you're on about.
It was on
I
Disney
have
XD. I'm
no
pretty sure.
Oh, okay, I wouldn't have seen it then.
I
Yeah.
thought I turned those off. Never mind. My sound alerts are on. I don't
Oh,
know
dear.
why.
Oh dear.
Why are my sound alerts on?
I'm gonna
Eh.
search it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
search it up, see what it is. What else was
Yeah,
there?
go for it.
There was
Um,
definitely those like
Phineas
3 or
and
4.
Ferb.
Phineas and Ferb. How
Phineas
can we
and
forget
Ferb.
Phineas
Phineas
and
and
Ferb?
Ferb. Oh god. What a great show.
I think so many
Ah.
old school like cartoons and series that they try to like modernize and it didn't give you the same feel
Didn't
as it
work.
used to. Yeah. But
Mm.
like The Simpsons, they tried to modernize that and everything looked too realistic and it was like, I
Yeah.
just want the old school cartoons
They've gone
back.
back to the older style.
Yeah. Have they?
Yeah, they have, definitely have. Talking of different art styles, has anyone seen the new Pokemon anime series?
No,
And what it looks
I'll
like?
have to check it out.
Okay, I'm gonna bring a picture of it up on my screen on
Right, go on.
It's I don't like it. Pokemon. Fuck, what's it called? Sun and Moon.
It also seems like we have some disagreements in the chat as well. So
Oh, what are
Georgia is
people
saying that Kim Possible was trash. I
No,
actually
no,
have
no,
to
no,
say
it-
that
no,
I
it
very
wasn't
much
not.
enjoyed Kim Possible.
Yeah.
I thought that was a
Are
great
you
show.
okay,
Really good.
child? What is wrong with you? Yes. So if you can look at this, what the fuck is that?
I can't see anything, but go on.
Give me a second. I need to bring your stream up again so I can read
Let's
it.
have a little look.
But
Someone in
it's
chat
just
hasn't seen.
wrong.
Someone in chat hasn't seen Phineas and Ferbs, but I have a feeling that this is someone who didn't grow up in the times. You know what I'm talking about is like
Right.
2000
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
what 2006 to 2010
I can
maybe,
tell you.
that
Give me a
kind of
second, I can
era.
tell you.
Yeah.
Phineas and Ferb. See when
But
it
yeah.
started.
But I think
I'll
those
put
years
the
were like the
picture
elite
in.
years.
But yeah, it's just the new Pokemon anime is wrong. Did anyone used to watch the old Pokemon anime when they were younger? I'm a Pokemon nerd.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I did.
I have to say, my sister was the Pokemon nerd in my family.
Ah, we're talking to the wrong sibling, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
You were friends with the wrong person.
Phineas and Ferb
Hanneman-
was 2008 it started, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
That late?
It's finished in 2015.
What was Candace's friend called in Phineas and Ferb? I know this is a
Oh,
later
I can't
topic,
remember.
but
Characters, let's have a look.
I feel like that's going to be one of your
Um,
childhood crushes, isn't it?
it is. It
It
is.
is.
but-
You knew it.
whilst we're on the topic of it, I might as well because so Isabella was played by Alison Stoner, who's
Yeah.
done so much shit now. She's done like music. She was in Step Up, all that stuff. Loads of other. God, Vanessa.
Oh,
It was Vanessa. It was
yeah,
Vanessa.
the black-haired one.
Thank you, Kayla. Yeah, Vanessa was. Ooh. But we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, don't get ahead of yourself.
No, I know. Many people have said in both mine and your chats now, Hannah Montana.
Ooh.
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
Now-
didn't. I did watch it, but not like the
I
other
didn't get
programs.
into it, yeah.
I
Yeah.
have to agree. It's just one of the things I didn't watch much as a child. I've watched the film now. Decent film, but the
I
TV
watched
show
the film
never really
ages
watched
ago.
it.
I mean, can we just realise that we've forgotten one of the most elite cartoons of all time of our generation, SpongeBob?
Oh God, yeah. What
How
program?
could we
Yeah.
forget?
SpongeBob.
What program?
Probably one
Can't
of the
forget
top
SpongeBob.
top 5,
I have a
I would
SpongeBob
say.
teddy somewhere in this room. I don't know where. More wine.
Finish the first glass
And
already. fucking hell.
that sums up the
I was
podcast. More wine.
eating. I was eating when I finished the first one.
Oh, okay, that's acceptable. then.
Ollie does raise a good point, and I do have to agree with him on this. Yu-Gi-Oh.
No,
No, I
No.
wasn't a part of that,
No.
unfortunately.
Oh no! Yu-Gi-Oh
No.
was elite. I rewatched it
No.
like during lockdown. It's great.
no.
So good.
What
Sorry, I
do you
can't
think
agree
of
with you,
this is kind of going back a little bit more in time, but I think it obviously they used to replay the shows, but you've got the original Ninja Turtles and the
Yeah.
Flintstones.
Yeah.
Those two.
Flintstones not so much. I think
No.
even for me and Aaron, Flintstones was before our time.
I
like,
agree that it was
it's an
before my
old
time,
program.
but watching it back used to be quite good whenever it was on TV.
So I caught Flintstones in both run-throughs of its lifetime. because I
So
was just about old enough to catch it the first time.
yeah,
at
I
the
think
end
it
of
came out like
And
late
then I
90s.
caught it when it replayed, and I was like, "Oh, I remember this." And yes, Kayla, I do remember Recess. Recess was amazing.
Oh my god, I was just about to bring that up. Recess was awesome.
Yeah, I never got into Recess.
No, Dalton, Recess was so good.
Yeah.
I watched it every now and then, but I never watched it
Yeah,
properly. Like the way I used to watch Phineas and Ferb and whatever. So,
See, and then getting into like the late ends of the 2000s with the cartoons, we've got obviously Teletubbies, Pingu, Scooby Doo.
Oh, I have a
Tom and
story
Jerry.
about
I
Teletubbies.
loved Pingu.
Pingu
Okay,
was
I
elite.
loved Pingu. I loved Teletubbies. I loved Teletubbies so much so when I was younger, I think I was like 1, maybe 2 years old.
Mhm.
I think I was messing around in the sitting room with my dad or something, playing hide and seek, and I decided to jump off the sofa, and I broke my arm.
Oh my god.
So I went to hospital, did all that stuff, and I was crying in the hospital, and they were putting a cast on me, and I was like, "No, no, I wanted Lala." And I like this is my first memory of life ever. It's just me crying, "No, I wanted Lala." So for the next 6 months of my life, I had a yellow cast up my arm
Oh.
because I wanted it Lala colored.
I think what is so fantastic about all of these like old school cartoons is they come back around. Like they don't like stay back in the 90s or the early 2000s. Like
They're
they
still
come
making
back.
Teletubbies.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just remembered. Have you seen the remake of Bob the Builder? It looks awful.
Oh, don't even get
Haven't,
me
no.
started on that. I have like a passion of hatred for the new Bob the Builder. I think Bob the Builder was my childhood watch. I used to have all of the Bob the Builder
Yeah.
merch. I had a Bob the Builder bicycle when I first started to learn riding, and
Yeah.
a helmet and all of the toys. It was my thing.
Oh,
I was
no,
Bob the Builder.
I remember vividly. My bicycle was Thomas the Tank Engine.
I tell you what,
And
for
it was Percy.
the next podcast, I will try and find the pictures of me kitted out in my Bob the Builder kit.
Oh,
It would just
that'd
be
be good. I'll
it's
see if I
It's
can
a
find
sight
any
to
of my
behold,
stuff.
that.
It is. Yeah, I don't know what they've done with the new episodes of those.
It just doesn't look right, does it?
No. I think the
But-
old way of animating everything just looked so much better. They really nailed what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not just us being old though?
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
know.
it might just be us being old.
It's probably a bit of both.
Oh, ooh, I have to bring this up because it aired today or last week. They've redone Tracy Beaker. There's new series of it.
Oh my god,
It's
yeah,
out
she's
on
the
CBBC.
mum now. She has a child.
She's a mum.
I know.
And
Have you
yeah,
seen
yeah.
that? And the
I've not-
what's the name? The
I've seen
evil
the
one.
show. I've not seen the show. Yeah, yeah. I can't remember the evil's name, but Tracy Beaker was me watching so long ago. I can't
Yeah.
remember anything about it. I kind of forgot about Tracy Beaker until I saw the news that they were remaking it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh fuck yeah,
But
that show's
I think
out.
the storyline of this one is going to be how Tracy Beaker has this daughter, but she's still like harsh enemies with the girl that she grew up with.
Oh really?
So she's
Oh,
still
that
around.
could be quite
And
fun.
I don't want to spoil it for anyone. I saw in one of the teasers, but it seems to be some some family issues between Tracy Beaker and her husband. So that should be interesting to watch. I know. Drama.
Ooh.
But I don't want to spoil it for anyone that's not
Don't
had a
wanna
chance
spoil
to
it
watch
now.
it. But yeah, that should be interesting to see how that plans out.
Ooh. I've seen a good suggestion in your chat that we will talk about because we need to. Tom
Oh,
and
yeah.
Jerry.
Of course, Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry was legend. I used to watch it all the time with my grandparents.
Mhm.
I have a Tom and Jerry tattoo.
Do you? Wow. Okay. We'll have to see that one
I have
sometime.
no idea how if I can share this on the screen because it's on my leg and I don't know how high I can pull up my leg.
Mate,
This-
those
this is
robots
when you
come in
get-
handy. Come on,
This is when you get a Twitch ban for showing too much.
decent
I mean,
content.
Yeah.
it's on my calf. Like that's not that much. I think it's already been on. How high can I get my leg? This is gonna go horrendously. Oh, you can't see it. My room's too dark.
I think what was so good about Tom and Jerry is the fact that there wasn't really a storyline, like a strong storyline, which allowed them to create so many different kind of like stories within itself.
Oh,
You know, they were-
100%.
they were-
And
Always able to
Did-
come up with something new.
Um, but yes, Tom and Jerry is amazing. Especially when they had what's the dog's name?
Oh, I can't remember.
Hitting a brick wall. The dog was amazing. Like, great character.
So I've just seen another suggestion in my chat
Um,
from a show called Trapped. I think that aired on CBBC.
Trap.
Trapped
All of those
scared
shows. So Trapped,
the
Raven,
living shit out
all
of
those
me.
types.
I've never watched Trapped.
Honestly,
Oh,
the was it a
Looking at-
woman or was it a man? But that face, I refused to watch it after watching it like twice. I couldn't. I just couldn't. It actually scared me.
I know the face. I know the face. I was like, oh
It
yeah.
was-
Was
okay,
it a kids'
yeah.
program?
Trapped was
It
amazing. It
was.
was a kids show, and it was like, do you know, like
So, you
one
had,
of those kids challenge ones where they had to do a bunch of shit to win.
so it
but,
was like a tower, and then each level in the tower had like a challenge. And it was almost like Among Us, where like one of the people was like an imposter, and they had to try and sabotage the rest of the team in completing the challenge. And then at the end of the challenge on that floor, the group would nominate who they thought the imposter was, and whoever got voted off was stuck on that level of the tower.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of flashback.
Oh yeah,
Flashback.
yeah, go on.
Do not react. You are the saboteur.
Oh god, it sends chills down my spine, I tell you. So they had like a little earpiece, and this creepy voice would like say like, "You are the saboteur. Do not react," or something, and it was just I
Yeah.
just couldn't
But
do it.
all of those like challengey types of shows from CBBC. So you had like 50-50, Raven. Raven was a great one.
Oh my god,
I remember Raven.
what was it? Jungle Run or something?
Jungle Run. Yeah, Jungle Run.
I don't know
They
if that
redid Jungle Run and it looked awful.
did it.
Yeah.
Why
Again, another one that
everything
just
and
looks awful.
everything just being ruined by modern day remakes.
Yeah. I just don't know why. But Jungle Run was so good, and I've just seen my chat, and there's so many other shows that we have to react.
So again, that was another like 2000 to 2006 based show.
Yeah. But it was so good. Did neither of you remember 50-50?
50-50. Let me have
No.
a little search of what that was.
So 50-50 was where they said they'd bring in two schools, and the students would compete in different challenges, and like it was to raise. I don't know if it was to raise
Oh my god,
funds for the school or just
all
to
I
break like, a
remember about
trophy or
this
something.
is the logo. I'm
The
looking at the
yellow
logo
versus
now.
blue
Yeah.
50-50. Yeah, and it's like a fucking pill. And I was just like, oh, I might be in the same generation as Jazz because Jazz remembers 50-50.
No, I do remember. I think we were lucky enough to like all be caught just before like the next generation of TV shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
But
was
yeah,
the production on that show. Look at it. Wow.
my friend Jacob has raised an excellent point. My parents are aliens.
Yeah, that was another like
I
show that
remember
I was
it,
going to
but
say was a bit
Can't remember
strange.
anything about it.
Really, my parents are aliens was sick. It
I
was one
can
of those-
remember it. Yeah, no, I can remember this. Yeah,
It was just one of those really, really weird shows that was just fucking funny to watch as a kid, and I loved it.
I don't know how they came up with these things back then. Like you don't get anything like
Weed,
that nowadays.
drugs.
Weed and drugs.
yeah.
There we
Speaking of
go.
weed and drugs, Ed, and Eddie.
Oh yeah.
Encourage the Cowardly Dog. All this Cartoon Network. Can we just go onto Cartoon Network for a minute? Like
Yeah, of
all of
course,
those
go on.
shows. I can list like 40, and they're just all amazing.
Yeah, go on. YouTube will have to go. I don't think I was much of a Cartoon Network kid.
Oh yeah, you didn't have Sky, did you?
Yeah.
I was left behind.
Oh, so there's Samurai Jack, Ed and Eddie.
Yeah. Great. Great.
All the Power Rangers were on there. Okay.
Yep.
Ben 10.
Oh, what a
don't-
great program!
Do not
What
start
a
with Ben 10.
show.
What a great show!
I hated that show
I used to literally
purely
be
on the
addicted.
basis
I was addicted to it.
that in year 5 and 6, I was basically bullied for an entire year for being
Yeah.
Ben
What's your name?
and being 10 years old. It was the worst year of my entire childhood.
Oh, but Ben
it's a
10
great
was such a
program,
good show. Powerpuff Girls. Yes, Kayla. Okay, which Powerpuff Girl do you relate to more?
I don't watch it. I didn't watch it, so I don't know.
Neither of you watched it, did you?
No.
Shit. I was a Bubbles. For anyone that watched Powerpuff Girls, you know what that means. Bubbles was the blue one. Yes, Kayla. Bubbles!
Back onto Ben 10, by the way,
see,
I even had my own Omnitrix. Yes, I still remember the name of the
I,
watch.
ha-
Oh my god,
I
that
had
little
my own
watch
Omnitrix
thing.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Experiment 9 or whatever it was? Oh, yes. I want to Google what the Ben 10 things were.
Okay, Ellie was a blossom. For your information.
Ellie was a blossom.
Yep,
Ellie
there you
was
go.
the red one.
So what,
So
what
Bubbles
was
is
so
the blue one.
what was it about their characters that you could associate with?
Oh, she liked to draw and cried a lot.
Okay.
That which describes me pretty well.
Oh, you should kind of sound a little bit sad now, mate.
It's a pretty good description of me.
Is
Also,
everything
she's
okay?
very bubbly. Is a very bubbly character. Code. Oh my god, Kayla is just listing all the Cartoon Network shows. Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Laboratory, Codenames Kid Next Door.
Mhm.
That show.
What a great
was
program.
fucking amazing. Oh my lord.
What was the one where the parents were supervillains? Cartoon one. And the kids were the heroes. And there was a lot of like, it
That
was all
was-
about mac and cheese and whatever. Oh, that was the main
That
thing
was
in the show.
that was Codenames Kids Next Door, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Oh, there we go, yeah.
Yeah, where they lived in a treehouse.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that was
Mm.
that, right?
I think so. Maybe that.
Teen Titans. Oh, Teen Titans. We'll come
Great
back
program.
to Teen Titans later. You guys know why. Teen Titans was so good though. I watched the shit out of that.
Yeah, I do. And then you get to watch Titans when you're older as well. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Cartoon Network was elite in like the little bit from like 1999 to 2005. It was, chef kiss. Like the shows they were putting out were unbelievable. I've seen Oscar in your chat naming a bunch of stuff that I don't
Yeah.
know.
Mr. Maker, that was another one of those. I think they called it CITV. That was on ITV News, but not ITV News, but
Yeah.
ITV. They had like a channel for kids.
What
And
is
that
Mr.
was
Maker? Let me Google
Maker.
Mr.
He,
Maker. Oh, I spilled my wine.
He was either. Let me get this right. I think he was a chef.
I'm definitely not just licking my wine off my notepad.
Oh, Oscar can correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was a chef.
Oh, one used to watch when I babysat people, which I watched way too much of, was Big Ben, Little Ben. Was that the two chefs?
Oh, yes.
Or
Sorry,
Big Chef,
I'm
Little
getting
Chef?
yeah, I'm getting mixed up here. So that one is the chef show. Mr. Maker, he made like lots of like weird little things out of all sorts. He was
Art Attack.
Yeah.
Art Attack. Oh, Art Attack was a
It
show.
was like a spin-off of Art Attack. I think Oscar's younger, so he's got Mr. Maker,
Mhm.
and then I think we associate with Art Attack more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Maker was on in like 2008, 2010.
I recognize the face now that I've googled it, but I don't think I've ever watched it.
Some
The
people
same with
used
like
to say
the Wiggles and stuff like
that,
that. I've never watched it.
Neil Buchanan
But-
from Art Attack is actually Banksy. What do you think of that?
I like. I've heard that theory before. He's outwardly said it's not him, and there's proof that it's not. But
Yeah.
I
It would have been
still
cool.
believe it.
It would have been cool if it was him.
The main theory
Just on the
behind
topic of Banksy, I think it's just more than one person.
Yeah, there's the main
It
theory
has
that's
to be,
more than one
surely.
person. It's like
There's no
a
way he gets around
collective.
like the entire country.
Oh
making
yeah,
things, yeah.
the head from Art Attack is a gangster. Oh, what's the head's name? Fuck, it was just a statue of some don with a bowl cup, wasn't it?
Let me get the
I might
picture.
be
up.
the
I
only one
feel like
watch-
I remember what you're saying. Art Attack head. Here we go. Oh yeah, that weird statue. I'm sure it was of somebody.
I thought it was as well, but I can't remember. The head's name is the head. Thank you, guys.
Great.
What was my favorite Power Ranger series? Ollie says I didn't watch that many. I watched a few,
I can't remember the names of the series or anything.
Yeah, I'm googling it now just to make sure I get not Power Connector for an RT. Power Rangers. It wasn't Dino Fury, but although I do remember that one.
Something Oscar's
I
just
remember that one.
just ticked my brain. So he's mentioned Chuggington, which I know for a fact is a more later on series, but that's linking me back to Thomas the Tank Engine, which is something that I watched.
Yeah, so my
Oh, yeah.
scooter when I was younger and my bike were both Thomas the Tank Engine.
I had a Thomas Tank Engine scooter.
When we first moved into my new house in Jersey after moving from Norway, my mum and dad built a Thomas the Tank Engine bed. And when I tell you, it was imagine like the front end of Thomas the Tank Engine, like the cabin or whatever. It was like that
Yeah.
hollowed out of that big circular bit, and I had this big like hood over where like I would sleep, like where the pillow was. But it was this huge like just wooden frame of Thomas the Tank Engine. I don't know where they got the idea to do it. I don't remember ever saying that I love Thomas the Tank Engine. Bearing in mind I was probably like 6 at the time we moved in. But yeah, that was something. So apparently I like Thomas the Tank Engine.
On the question of what my favorite Power Rangers was, English version, because I'm sad and watched the Japanese version, so shut up. I think it's Dino Fury or Jungle Fury. I can't remember which one out of the two it was, but I think that was my favorite one. Out of the Japanese one, it was let me see if I can pronounce this right. Xiaojiu Sentai Laveman.
You butchered that.
I pronounced that. I butchered that.
You fully butchered that.
Yeah.
I can't say that I remember anything about Power Rangers. I know that I watched it. I just don't remember the specifics. Like which series it was. You know, it was just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
what
put one out there. A TV program out there. Ben, you might be too young for this. I don't know, but
Okay.
Aaron definitely isn't. One of my most favourite ones, and my brother's most favourite ones when we were younger, Thunderbirds.
Oh my god.
Thunderbirds
I was
are
there. Don't
cool.
worry.
Oh,
Thunderbirds.
the Busted song. I know
Yeah.
this is on topic, but the Busted song.
Yeah,
Oh.
great song. And I will say, there's a little thing about me in my childhood, and it still relates to me now. When I was about 2, I got given this like Thunderbirds thing for my birthday, and it had a cushion in it, like this little crap, fucking flat cushion, basically. But because I've been sleeping with it in my bed for so long, I still sleep with it now, and I can't sleep properly without it now.
Wow.
Bear in mind, I'm nearly 23 years old.
Yeah. The song still bangs.
I
Yeah,
still
the song
sleep with a
still
Thunderbirds.
does
So
bang.
for my probably 7th or 8th birthday, I think I got a toy set from the Thunderbirds, and it was the Thunderbirds 1, so the big green one. And then inside, it like the doors opened at the back, and out came the submarine, the yellow submarine. Do you remember that?
Nice.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to play with that all the time. It was probably my favorite toy.
Thunderbird 4? Am I sad for remembering that?
Yeah. Oh, what was it? Was it Thunderbird 1 or was it Thunderbird 4?
I used to have the island.
1 was the rocket, 2
Oh.
was the green ship, 3 was the red one.
Yeah, so
4
4
was the yellow
was
one
the
and-
submarine. Let's have a look.
Right.
Oh no, so it wasn't. Let's have a look. So it
I
was
used to have the
Thunderbirds
island
2.
as a
Here we
toy
go.
in
So it was Thunderbirds 2, and then out the back of it came Thunderbirds 4.
So you used to drop out the green one, which was 2, right?
Yeah.
Nah. Thunderbirds was a great show. Did
God,
you see the film?
Bringing back so many memories.
I had
There was
loads of videos.
There was a
I'm sure
film.
remember
I don't
if it's
think
a
I've
film,
ever
though.
watched the film.
There was a Thunderbirds film. It had.
Oh yes,
the
I
actress
remember.
that played Gabriela Montez in it.
Thunderbirds film. 2004 it came out.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
Long
actor
time
from
ago.
it fell off the face of the earth. I don't think he did anything with his life.
Let's have a look.
But
Thunderbirds film. Let's have a look at the cast that was in this.
it was such a good film. I remember watching it so many times.
Ben Kingsley was in it. Fucking
I
hell.
was going to say, apart
Yeah,
from
Ben Kingsley was
Ben
in it.
Kingsley, I don't recognise anybody else.
No, you got Bill Paxton and Vanessa Hudgens. Vanessa Hudgens is Gabriella from High School
Yeah.
Musical. I recognise Bill Paxton as well.
Yeah. Like, it
Oh
was
yeah,
a
I
good.
know who Bill Paxton is. Yeah,
Yeah.
dead
One
now.
second, just need to reply to a message. Carry the chat.
Right, going back to old school ones, we got Kayla and a couple others saying that Charlie and Lola I think that was again another one of those slightly later shows
Yeah, I don't know that.
that took over. I think the slightly younger
Charlie and
generation.
Lola. I don't
Charlie and
know
Lola.
if when the only reason I clicked anything in my head is because you said Lola and I thought of Lilo and Stitch.
Great program.
But I might be too old for you two to remember that.
Do we
What, Lilo
remember?
and Stitch? No, I fucking love Lilo and
Yeah.
Stitch.
Do we
I got
remember?
really
Awesome.
annoyed when I was in Portugal when I was younger. We went to McDonald's and we got like Lilo and Stitch toys out of it because there was a film out at that point. And my brother buried mine in the sand, and we couldn't get it back before we had to leave and go back. And I was literally
What
crying
an
for about 2
evil
days.
brother.
Yeah, he just took my
Horrible.
toy. And he was playing with them, but he decided to bury them in the sand. So he lost his as well because then he buried them. We went back to the restaurant and we were out after like we were eating at McDonald's because we were like 5. And we went to
How old's your
leave, and my
brother?
mum was like, "Where's your toys?" My brother's 24, so he's 2 years older than me. And we went back to like the restaurant, and when we went to leave, my mum was like, "Right, go and grab your toys and everything." And my brother was like, "Oh, I buried them, mine as well." And we went looking for them for like 20
Yeah.
minutes. My mum was like, "Nah, too late, we're gone." We just left them out.
Ruthless.
So they're somewhere. It's
Absolutely
probably still buried
ruthless.
in a beach. Yeah, but it's in a beach at night time. So they're still somewhere, probably buried in that beach in Portugal. Those two
Some
fucking
lucky
Lilo and
kid
Stitch
is-
toys.
One day
Some
you'll
lucky
go
kid
back
has
to
digged it up,
Portugal. One day you go back to Portugal just on like an epiphany search for your
Yeah.
fucking Lilo and Stitch toy.
Oh.
Yeah, I always resent my brother
Oh,
for
Lord.
that.
I've seen in both of our chats now. I think we have to address it. Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold.
Never watched
I
it.
don't think I ever watched that.
Is that
Really?
mouse one?
No.
No?
Hey Arnold was the guy with the yellow hair that like sticked out 3 different ways.
Can't remember that. I don't know. I don't
Don't
remember
know.
that.
Google it and you'll remember the show, but I
me
don't
Google
think
it.
you'll have watched it that much. I used to love the show, like, but I think it was Football Head. Yes, American Football Head. So you know how like
Hey Arnold.
Stewie
Oh, I
from
do
Family Guy
recognise
is-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never watched it though, but I do recognise it.
I watched the living crap out of it. I think it's another show that they remade, right? Maybe.
It looks like there's 2 different like versions.
Yeah,
Like, one looks quite new.
but it was like. I think it was around from when I was born until I was like 7 or something, but it was a really good show. It's really funny.
Oh my goodness, Balamori. What
What's
a
the
throw!
story
Balamori.
about Balamori? Wouldn't you
Wouldn't
like to know?
know?
I think we just, we had a great
Story
childhood
about
with some
Balamori.
great shows on
Oh,
offer.
we grew up at the
Oh,
right
yeah.
time.
I think we got lucky, didn't we?
Oh, on the same wavelength for Balamori, 54 Zulane.
Yeah.
Is that it?
64 Zulane.
64
64 Zulane, yeah.
64
64
Zulane.
Zulane. What a program
What
that
a
is. I love that.
tune.
And a tune as well,
Oh.
yeah.
And like all those shows. Oh, we're talking like CBBC now. Like
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
good old
CBBS
CBBC.
even. Oh.
You know
it's
what used to
the
really annoy
golden
me?
years.
When they absolutely nailed the CBBC intro, and then they thought they'd go and modernise it and change it up. And
Mhm.
God, that got on my nerves, I have to tell you.
Ollie with Ollie with the Michael Owen comment of the century. Kids shows now are too kiddish.
Well,
I know what you mean. Bear's Big Blue House. Kayla's just says, I don't think I've ever heard of that.
I've
The
heard
hell's
of that.
Bear's Big.
I have
It
heard
rings
of
a bell in the back of my mind, but I don't
that. Yeah.
remember.
But Ollie,
it.
that's a great Michael Owen comment there. I do have
Mm.
to agree.
I recognize the bear. That's about it. I don't think I ever watched the show.
I don't think I ever watched it, but I recognise the name, seeing it. Like, I remember.
Yeah.
Like,
It was
on
another
TV.
Disney one. It was an
Yeah.
early Disney one. Okay. Oh, I've just mentioned Disney and remembered That's So Raven.
Yep. Got Corey in the house
Oh.
after that as well.
Yep. And
Yeah.
one that I can't believe any of us haven't mentioned yet. I understand Ben didn't really watch it. Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
see, this was
And
another
Sweet
one
Life
that
on
I was
Deck.
able to sneak my way into a neighbour's house and watch. Yep.
Oh, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody started my love for whoever. We'll talk about it later.
Let's see where this one's
that
going.
was such a good show.
Yeah. Well, swiftly moving on from the childhood TV shows brings us straight onto
We've been on this
another
quite a
good.
while, haven't
Brings us straight onto another category of the films that were around in our childhood. I think we had a good range.
We
Oh,
did.
One that Georgia mentioned in chat was Night at the Museum. Have to have a look
Yeah,
at when that
great film.
first aired, but
Was
the
a
first
great
I think that
version
was
of
like 2005, wasn't it?
I wanted to say 8, but I'm not.
I might be later, yeah.
I'll fact check you here.
I was around that 10 years old mark. It was like a little bit before.
2006. Wow, okay.
2006, yeah. There you go. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
8 when that came
Can
out.
you believe it's been 14,
Jeez.
almost 15 years since things like that have been out?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Because even Iron Man was in our childhood, and that was 2008.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like the fact that we've grown up with every MCU film. is
yeah,
a bit mad.
yeah. We've seen everyone
Like-
in our lifetime.
Yeah. Like even fucking Hulk.
Mm.
But
Oh,
the
School of
original
Rock
Hulks, yeah,
episodes.
those came out a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the
I
second
was
one to
still
come out
alive
is
for
officially
all
the
of them.
second film of the MCU, though, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
still alive. I was alive during the first few shitter Hulk movies.
Yeah, so was I.
And yeah. We will move on to those films in a second, guys. We'll talk through them systematically.
Yes. We've got the
A little
X-Men
bit.
films as well, if we stay on superheroes for now. Which came out,
What do you
started
think
in
of the newer
2000.
X-Men films?
Good.
So, I'm not
But the
talking about
first two
the
will be
Dark
goated for me.
Phoenix. The first two are goated. The
Mm.
new one was a Dark Phoenix.
Yeah. I quite enjoyed it.
I thought that was an amazing film. I think the
Yeah.
story was good, could have been better, but the music in it and the cinematography of it was fucking amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that Stanley had it in mind before he died and it's still been produced was amazing.
But yeah, that shows his legacy, and like his whole creative mind was just so insane.
Yeah,
like,
him and
almost
Steve
like
Ditko did
so
so
perfect
much.
that there's
Hitler
probably
got
ideas that he has that are
fucking
going to
idiot.
linger on for the next 10, 15 years
Oh, yeah.
Oh, 100%.
easily.
Even maybe longer. Like, just think about how many Spider-Man films have been made.
I mean, you've
Yeah.
got all these comics as well that like you can build films off of.
Have you heard that potentially, and this is big potentially, in the new Star Wars film, both Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are going to come back in it?
Really?
Doing Spider-Man, not Star Wars.
Spider-Man,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was going to say like,
Just-
what are they doing in space? They're in the wrong place.
Yeah, no. I do know about that. I've heard about that because the whole multiverse theory that they're bringing in the
Yeah.
multiverse
Yeah.
or whatever.
I
Because that's
would
how
love to see
there's
that.
certain stuff that's happened in WandaVision if people are watching and haven't caught up. I'm not going to say it, but
No,
there's
I
certain stuff
have
that's
not
happening
watched it.
now.
I really need to get in
Yeah.
on that.
So me and Dalton
Yeah.
we're caught
Yeah.
up. We won't spoil it. All we're gonna say is, "Ooh, mommy, that's a niche bad guy."
Mhm.
I have, because I've seen so many teasers that like I've accidentally seen either on
Yeah.
YouTube or scrolling through Instagram. So I have to catch up. Have to give it a watch.
Mhm.
But it looks good
I
so
am
far.
going to put a poll in my chat just so people can get involved. Which Spider-Man was your favorite? And we'll talk about it on stream as well for a few minutes because I think it's quite a good topic, right?
I
It is,
think
'cause we
that's a
grew
very
up-
good topic.
I especially grew up with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that was the
that
first
favours him in
one
my
that
head
I
a little
was
bit.
introduced
Yeah.
to.
So
Because he's
Tobey
early
Maguire.
2000s to end of 2000s, isn't he? Because Spider-Man
Yeah.
3, I think, came out a year before Iron Man did, I think. Which is Tobey Maguire's last
Yes.
one. I think it came 2007 it came out, didn't it?
So yeah, there's a
Thing.
poll in my chat for it. It's up for 2 minutes or whatever.
See, Kayla saying that Tom Holland plays the best Spider-Man, but the whole storyline and like the way of acting, I think, has changed a lot since Tobey Maguire.
So, if we're basing it off the comics, Tom Holland does a very good job.
Yeah.
In the lifespan of what each Spider-Man was, I have to say Andrew Garfield was my favorite. which is a really unpopular opinion.
Yeah, I was gonna say
but
I don't
I
know.
was my favorite.
Yeah, I want to sit on the fence and say all three because my
All three
explanation
was
behind it.
very, very good.
Because my
Right.
explanation behind it, right, is Andrew Garfield had the perfect Spider-Man, but a pretty naff Peter Parker. Tobey Maguire had a very good Peter Parker, but a pretty naff Spider-Man.
I was
Tom
gonna agree
Holland
with
is
you
a
there.
mixture. Tom Holland's a mixture of both of them put together.
Yeah, I did not like Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker. I don't think the character fit him
He's not a
well.
cool kid.
No.
Yeah, he's not a cool kid. It's not his fault that he's good looking and a suave guy. It's not. Like, it's just how he is. But he still played Peter Parker in that way. Like he skateboards and he's cool and all this sort of thing. He's not. He's a nerd. Right, that's what he is.
Yeah, so Ollie completely agrees with you. Like, as Peter Parker, Andrew Garfield wasn't the best.
Yeah, wasn't, I
As
think.
the whole character, he was pretty decent. Spider-Man, I think he was arguably the best Spider-Man.
His Spider-Man is probably the best Spider-Man. Like the comedy of him as
Comedy
Spider-Man
out of it,
is,
yeah.
yeah.
It's just that I don't.
It's the one-liners that win it for me.
I don't agree with you when you say that Tom Holland is the middle ground for both, because I think that Tom Holland is potentially the best Peter Parker.
Oh yeah, no,
Okay.
he's the best Peter Parker without a doubt. But I think if you take both attributes of the two previous,
no one showed love for Tobey Maguire in the
I
poll.
wanted to vote for Tobey Maguire, but I had to vote for Andrew Garfield. That was me that voted for Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
Just because he's Spider-Man. Because at the end of the day, the title of the film is Spider-Man, not Peter Parker.
Spider-Man,
So-
yeah.
true. But to
I
be a
think-
good Spider-Man, you have to also play a good Peter Parker.
Yes. I think what let the Amazing Spider-Man films down was the bad guy.
Okay.
Or the bad
in
guys.
the second one, yes.
The second one, definitely. The first one was pretty good.
I think overall the first film was quite good. It was a good Spider-Man film.
Yeah.
It was
like,
the whole
I think
Green Goblin thing at the end with Electro that was pretty naff in the second one.
Yeah. It really screwed it up. I think
But
the
Jamie
best
Foxx
villain.
is coming back as Electro in the new Spider-Man.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. I'm really
Yeah.
excited for it. What I think is, and this is which bad guy do you think is your favorite? I have
In the
to
Spider-Man
go
films.
any Spider-Man film. Which
Okay.
bad guy
Any
is your favorite?
Spider-Man film. Okay, let me have a little think.
Yeah.
I know who mine is instantly. Because it's
I
the
know
best
who mine
Spider-Man
is.
film that there's been. I'll let Ben say his
It's
first.
difficult. It's definitely none related to any Tom Holland film.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna put a strong shout in the
Oh.
second as well.
So I actually think I might change mine a little bit. I'm going to say two. that I
I'm
can't
gonna
really
say
decipher
two, but
between.
I know which one I'd like more than the other.
We're
Okay,
talking about ones that have been
I-
in the films, yeah, not
Yeah.
ones we want to
Ones
happen
that have been in the
films.
films.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the ones that want to happen in films, because
Okay,
there's so
I'm gonna
many that
say
want to happen in
yeah.
the
films.
Green Goblin, just because that was like
Okay.
the first ever Spider-Man I ever watched, and I like got
The
really
O-
into it through that.
The OG Green Goblin.
Yeah, the
OG,
OG.
yeah, OG, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Who is it who
don't.
plays him? His name's escaped me.
What's it called?
I want to say Willem Dafoe, but I know
Willem
it's
Dafoe.
wrong.
It is
Yeah,
Willem
that's
Dafoe.
it. That's it.
First
It
film
is
is
I
Willem
just
Dafoe.
I haven't
yeah,
really clicked with any of like the sort of evil people from Tom Holland's generation of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Don't give me the same vibes.
So I'll go with
So
mine.
Vulture and what's the new one? Oh, okay, yeah. Go for
Yeah,
yours.
well, so the one I originally thought of was Doctor Octopus.
okay,
Because Spider-Man
Okay.
2 is a phenomenal film.
Yep.
Absolutely phenomenal. And he is such a good villain.
Yep.
But then when you mentioned Tom Holland films, I thought Mysterio was
Okay.
pitch
I'm gonna say
perfect to the
this
comics.
now.
He
I've
was
gotta say
pitch
this now.
perfect.
Flip it around. My second place is Mysterio.
Yeah.
I thought he was an amazing villain. I thought he played it amazingly.
He is literally exactly the same as what he is in the comics, just a
Exactly
pure
the same.
trickster.
I think they modernized it a little bit too much.
that's what I was gonna butt in and say that I completely agree that Mysterio was like an incredible character and the guy that played him was really good, but it was just like too modernized for me.
Yeah, I
Too
get
many
that.
My
gadgets, too
favourite,
many,
for
you
the
know.
same reasons Dalton mentioned. Just the actor was fucking amazing. Doctor
And the
Octopus.
two
Doctor Octopus. Doctor
Mysterio scenes, the two Mysterio scenes in that film, where he's like
Final
in
fight
the
scene.
trance,
Oh
Yeah,
my
the
the
lord.
final
fight
fight
scene.
scene. Oh, so good.
I mean,
Like,
don't get me
just the
wrong, it
trick,
was
the visual
very
trickery.
powerful. It was very, yeah.
Although I've got to say, my favorite fight scene from any film was Spider-Man and Sandman versus
Oh my
Venom,
God, yes.
and
That fight scene was.
I don't
No,
want to
no,
say
it was,
Green Goblin because
it
it's
was
not Green
Spider-Man and
Goblin.
It was Spider-Man and Hobgoblin, wasn't it, versus Sandman and Venom.
Hmm.
And then Sandman came at the end and was just sort of like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
sorry,
not actually
yeah.
a bad guy. Yeah. But then Venom in that film was shit, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah,
Venom's like
They-
how
did
how he's meant to
true-
be is what he's like in the Venom film. He's meant to be huge.
okay, so there's two versions of Venom in the comics. They did very true to the comic that got released first. And then they redid Venom in later comics, and it was much better.
Yeah.
Which is what
Yeah, the
Tom-
renewed Venom in the
Tom
new
not
Hardy.
Tom
film.
Brady,
Tom
Tom Hardy. I always get those two mixed up.
Yeah.
I was watching the Super Bowl the other week. I was like, "Hey, look at Tom Hardy go! Brady, look at Tom Brady go!"
Venom running down the pitch.
Yeah.
Be
Oh,
a bit of an unfair match, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Speaking of, oh, what's the film called?
What film?
Is it Legend? Tom
Oh,
Hardy
what
film.
the what about the Cray brothers?
Yeah,
Yeah, oh, yeah, brilliant,
it's a fucking amazing film.
brilliant film.
We can go on a whole tangent here about Tom Hardy films.
Yes, we can.
I think we
We
could
definitely can.
easily get lost for hours in those films.
Oh,
There's
but
too
there's so
many good ones. Yeah, there's too many.
Like fucking Venom, Mad Max, Dark Knight Rises, Inception. What else is there? There's the Capone.
See, that is a film we can talk about because it's technically a childhood film for us.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got an interesting question from Kayla here.
Go
So
on.
we've spoken about the villains of Spider-Man, and we've spoken about Spider-Man himself. But what about the leading
This-
lady?
So this is
Oh,
Gwen
Kirsten
or-
Dunst, easily. Kirsten Dunst is
Kirsten
Mary Jane.
Dunst, Mary Jane. We've got
Yeah.
Zendaya, got Emma Stone.
I've got to go Emma Stone.
No, it's Kirsten Dunst for me.
It's Emma
Got to be MJ
Stone,
all the
Emma
way.
Stone.
Proper MJ.
It's Emma Stone. Gwen all the way. Gwen.
Mm,
Spider. I'm so annoyed that they killed her off because Spider Gwen would have been so good.
no, I think I've got to agree with Dalton here.
Kirsten Dunst. for me.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
The iconic
original
Spider-Man
Mary Jane.
kiss.
yeah.
The iconic Spider-Man kiss. As
Where it
well.
all began, really.
Yeah.
Oh, the upside. Yeah, sorry, the upside down one. Fair
Yeah.
enough. It's just. I've gone back and watched the films, and the acting is so cringy from her.
That's
Half
just the way that the style
That's
was
just
back
how
then.
it was back then. Yeah, that's what I was
Style,
gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like distinctly just like what?
Because even in the first X-Men film, it was corny like that. And then you
Yeah.
look at them now,
Yeah, it's
it's a
true.
lot different. Like they take themselves a lot more seriously now than they did back then.
Hmm.
I just
It's
think
all
the
very
whole
comic-y.
directorship of how the films are made now is very different to how
Yeah.
it used to be.
James, I think the best acting in any Spider-Man film ever was James Franco as Harry Osborn.
Oh yeah, 100%.
100%. Like, oh my god,
Brilliant.
he's playing the character so well.
Oh yeah.
Right, so
What do
I've
you
got a
think?
question. Aside from comic-related films, this might be out of your realm. I know you're very into your comics, Aaron. But out of the comic realms, what would you say is your favorite go-to film?
My favorite go-to film.
From
Ooh,
childhood.
I have two. Oh, from childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say pre-2011.
I'm gonna have to look up at when this film was released.
That's all right. But somewhere around then, that will do.
Um.
And I know neither of you might. Oh yeah, this is released when I was born. So, well done, Aaron. Uh,
Trying to
okay,
think.
have either of you seen the Studio Ghibli films?
No.
No, you'll have to explain.
So Studio Ghibli is known for making films like Spirited Away, like My Neighbor Totoro, Howl's Moving Castle, films like those.
Okay, let me have a little search of those.
The one you will recognize is Spirited Away.
Oh my god, 2001.
Mhm.
Jeez. Okay, I recognize the
Art
drawings of it.
style. Yeah. So my favorite film from those was Princess Mononoke. Like all time, one of my all-time favorite films. I think it's because I watched it so much as a kid.
Hmm.
So it was about a film that's set way in the past, and it's like there's a village that is attacked by demons, and the prince is able to run away, and he finds another city, but before he runs away, he gets like corrupted. I think it's called in the film or whatever, and he finds a massive spirit forest, and there's like loads of god animals and stuff. It's just an amazing film, like very well done,
Interesting.
really good art style. I think Dalton will like it quite
Sounds like I
because
would like it.
we like quite similar stuff. There's
I
a
like
massive,
the
there's like
fantastical
massive
movies.
fight scenes, two massive fight scenes in it as well.
I think because I had
Outside of
a much older brother growing up, I was always kind of like shown things like James Bond and those kind of
Yeah.
like spy films. I got very into
Yep.
those with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I'm gonna put one out there as well.
Yeah, go on.
I've got Narnia.
Narnia. Yeah, the series of those are
Yeah.
really good.
ooh. I'm gonna raise a controversial point here. I did not like Prince Caspian at all.
Oh no, yeah, it was crap. The only one I really like is the first one, if I'm honest. But you know,
The last one was alright.
I remember going to the cinema to watch the first one with a load of my mates from school in like year 5 whenever it was released.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Ollie raised a really good question from Bacchus. Spider-Man. Sorry, I didn't read it. Emma Stone had the best chemistry with the Spider-Man.
It was because they were actually together for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was almost
It-
real.
Yeah, it was generally real.
Almost as if it was real connection.
No, but imagine the director.
I won't-
Imagine the director coming up to you and saying, "We need more passion. We need more chemistry between the two characters." And they're like, "We're literally together. Like, what are we doing wrong?"
What do you want from us?
Yeah.
What? Dalton, what would you say your favorite film was?
See, I'd probably say Narnia. I
Mhm.
just loved I just love those sort of
Like
fantasy
the fantasy.
movies.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, I still love them now. I watch them all the time. Those sort of movies.
Yeah.
I remember having all the toys when I was a kid. I had like the Minotaur toy from Narnia and everything. When I was younger, I kept on getting loads of them. It was just that was a good solid like 3 years of my life just loving that film, just
Yeah.
watching it over and over again.
That's very.
So I'd have to say Narnia.
Outside of that anime film, I've got to say, it's a tie between two. The original Pirates of the Caribbean
Oh, I forgot about that.
God, that's a good shout. Yeah.
Yeah.
or Space Jam.
Space Jam as well. Oh, but there's so many good ones. It's really difficult to pick from.
Yeah.
It's a really difficult question.
I
But
think I could
Got
say
Harry
that
Potter as well.
I enjoyed those
I'd
films.
say Harry Potter as a collective, maybe my favorite series, but neither of them stick out as my favorite film.
Yeah, I never really
Yeah,
got into
fair.
Harry Potter too much. Never really clicked. I can appreciate the
Oh,
film. I can watch them.
I was big into Harry Potter when I was younger.
I've literally got a Sirius Black's wand and like
The
model of it
one?
next to me.
Yeah, I think I was
I
very
have
influenced by
a-
my brother with the whole kind of like spy, military. We used to.
Yeah.
How much older is your brother?
My brother is 20. He's 28 now, turning 29, so quite a bit older.
He makes me look young.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But we used to get like BB guns. We used to get all these like little
BB guns are
spy
amazing.
toys. Honestly, we used to run around our neighborhood causing havoc, thinking that we were spies.
You were the bad boys.
Yeah, honestly, it used to be so much fun. I think I had a great childhood because of it.
Speaking of bad boys, The film.
See, I only watched that when I was a little bit older. I can't really class that as a
Really?
childhood
I
film.
watched it when I was younger because I used to watch all those types of films with my cousins who were a bit older. So it's like Die Hard, Bad, Bad Boys, the original Men in Black, all those types of films. I was like, used to watch them
Hey,
on
Men
the
in
dot.
Black, I did watch
Yeah.
when I was a kid, yeah. That's a great film.
Justin says, excluding fantasy, I enjoyed the Jason Bourne series.
Oh yeah, Jason Bourne.
I have
Yeah.
to take a step back from this because I didn't watch it until I was older.
Yeah, I didn't really watch them until I was older. I agree,
Did
they're
you
great films.
did you watch Rush
but-
Hour as well?
Yes,
Rush
I
Hour
love
is
Rush
a
Hour.
great
I love Rush
great
Hour.
film.
Yeah,
I'm
See
you.
again, that was another one. It came out in 1998, but having an older brother, I
Really?
watched it,
Yeah.
fairly
Yeah.
young.
I can't the year I was born. Fucking hell.
I am you. No, I'm me. No, I am you. No, you are not who you are.
It was great
Whoa.
comedy back then.
One of my favorite scenes from any film is that. Let me scroll up my chat, see if anyone has said anything. Kayla.
Oh.
Ooh, okay. Kayla said Mamma Mia.
Okay. Good film,
Yeah.
but
Very good film. I really enjoyed it.
yeah,
I
I'm a
like
bit
it.
I'm a bit of a sucker for ABBA.
yeah. I was gonna say ABBA fully made that, didn't they?
Well, yeah, it's just all ABBA songs, yeah.
It's because it's like it's based on ABBA.
Mm.
Um,
I will say one film that we've forgotten about so far. We sort of childhood. I know it came out when I was 11 because I looked at when it came out. But Avatar, as in blue
Yeah,
planet aliens.
Yeah, the film. Yeah,
I think we need to go a step back to TV shows because we also forgot Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is the best TV show ever.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But I can touch on it later because I can go back to it in one of the latest sections. But Avatar: The Last Airbender was great. I've just rewatched it with my housemate. He does not like it because he doesn't like anime. I'm currently watching Korra. I don't know what I think of Korra.
I liked it.
I'm liking it, but it seems a bit rough on the edges.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I have to agree
And
with
also,
Kayla
I
here.
mean,
Avatar the film, way too long. It was
What?
an
As in
absolute
the
film.
film was
Yeah,
2 hours.
it was
40?
almost a 3-hour film.
It
was,
doesn't matter how long it is. It's a fucking amazing film.
It's a fucking amazing
It's like
film,
Wolf
yeah.
of Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street is an amazing film. It doesn't matter how long it is. You're literally sat there and grossed into it the whole time. You can't not take your eyes off it.
The one thing I will say about Avatar the film is if you take a step back and look at the plot, it just seems stupid. I don't know if anyone agrees with me. Like, it just seems stupid. Like,
No,
think about
I
it.
get you. The whole premise of the film.
Like, it's just odd to me. I know why I say it's a bit odd, but it's just odd.
I don't know. I don't think it is. Then I'm biased because I love the film. So
Oh, I have to agree with Kayla. They made Pandora in Disney Orlando. I went whilst Pandora was still there. It was fucking amazing and beautiful to look at. I went when I was 12, so that was 2009, 2010.
yeah, would have been around there. Yeah.
Also, Orlando is it's one of the best places in the world, apart from the fact that it's in Florida. Great.
Yeah.
I think that's a topic for a future episode as well. But
Yeah.
never actually been to America, let
Oh,
alone
really?
Disney locations.
fair.
So
I've only been to New York. I haven't been to a Disney location ever. Wanted to go, but I haven't been.
it's definitely something that I'm gonna have to do at some point in my life.
I really enjoyed America when I went. I thought it was great. Like, I dropped my phone.
Wine's getting to your head.
No, I was trying to put on charge. I just missed the charger port. Disney trip, boys.
Mm.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's
Ooh.
gotta happen one day.
ooh. Maybe next year.
Who
Who
knows?
knows?
I mean, maybe if it stops becoming the fucking was it Game of Thrones in Texas, then yeah, sure.
Mm.
Fucking winter is coming.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, winter is here and it's everywhere and we don't know what to do.
The fact that they panic after like 4 inches of snow, it's insane.
Have you seen it though? That just the houses aren't prepared.
No.
Like the walls are freezing. Like what have they made their walls out of that the walls are freezing?
It's like I see on Instagram like my friends back in university at the moment who are literally in like, you know, not 4 inches of snow, but like 4 feet of snow surrounding like our university and everything, and how that they're just getting on with their
Yeah.
daily lives. And then you see someone else's story from Texas and they're like, we're about to die, we run out of food, we run out of water.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah, it's just because they're not prepared for it, especially in Texas. They just never expected it would happen. Whereas, like, there is that little bit of, oh, we might need to be prepared near where you went to uni. Not where you went to uni, where you live.
where I live. Very keen to go back. Oh, it's
I
gonna
bet
be
you are.
good.
February 28th.
Everyone write it in your diaries.
Not long.
How many days is that? Come on, Aaron. 9 days.
Okay, I have to bring this up because I'm very confused by what it is. It's in my chat by the lovely Ellie. She says she doesn't remember the name, but there was a guy who had a really stretchy body and would strangle people with a particular body part.
I've just seen it. Yeah.
What, Ellie? What are you on
I
about?
would love
Are
some
you
explanation
sure
towards that.
No.
Yeah.
And if this is the Fantastic Four you're talking about and you've messed up the body parts, then, you know, I'll accept that.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, Aaron, you've seen The Boys, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. There's this particular scene in that where that particular thing does happen. But I don't think she's talking about The Boys somehow.
No. Ellie, are you sure
It was
this
some
was
weird
on?
film.
Are you sure this was a film and not, you know, something else that you shouldn't have been on?
Yes.
I'm just trying to think of what it could be.
I'm very concerned that you had to watch that.
Because are you on about Elastigirl and are we going to start talking about The Incredibles? Because I'm down. Like, Elastigirl, Jesus Christ. No? Just me?
It was some.
No,
It was a guy.
it was a
for fuck's
guy
sake.
apparently. Okay. But maybe we'll
Yeah,
have
I
to
have
do
no idea
some
what you're on about,
research on
Ellie.
that for the next
No idea.
podcast.
I wouldn't search that up on the internet if I were you, Ellie.
No. Ellie, are you okay? Do you need help?
Clearly going through something. There's some trauma there.
Yeah, clearly. Oh, Lord.
Oh, never mind. I'm still very confused what she's put. I kind of want to search it up, but I don't at the same
Same,
time. She's put, I need a lot of help.
Yeah, she
Oh.
definitely does.
Yes.
I've just realised my, what's it called?
Don't know any. You know
My,
that, mate.
What is it
my
called?
stream elements just has not been doing the timer stuff. I don't know why.
Oh dear. It's because have you got enough people chatting in a certain amount of minutes, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, because it's set to 0.
Oh.
So I think it's just broken. That's fine.
Oh,
If anyone is in my chat that hasn't already seen who I am streaming with, although I think half of you do.
Yep, exactly.
What was
Has
it? Grindy_BG.
yeah, that's the one.
This is my friend. My friend is amazing. He is who I'm currently streaming with. And he is an idiot sandwich.
I'm an idiot sandwich. We got Aaron the dickhead. And Grindy the idiot sandwich, that works for me.
and I'm just that guy.
And Dalton's just that guy, yeah, there we
I'm
go.
just that guy. Yeah, I'm just that guy.
I'm
I
really
have seen
curious.
this the movie thing that Kayla's put in. Movie
It's
that's,
Zoolander.
Yeah, Zoolander.
Oh. We've talked about this before, Dalton, I think.
Yeah, we have. Yeah,
We have. Zoolander was a goated film.
great film. Ben
Oh.
Stiller in that sort of time period
Let me have a little
was
look.
just knocking out
Yes,
great
okay,
films.
yeah. I just had to be
Yeah.
reminded of what it was.
Yeah, I mean, he had
Very
Ben Stiller was killed it in that sort of 2000s to
Yeah.
2010 period. Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, Zoolander, Night at the Museum. He was killing it. The
Mhm.
films. Dodgeball. What a great film Dodgeball was.
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore was a great film. Not Ben Stiller though. It's Adam Sandler.
No, it's not Ben Stiller. I'm being an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, lordy.
Happy
I don't
Gilmore
wanna go
forever
in-
will be one of my favourite films. Just tap it in. Just tap it in.
Tap it in.
Happy Place.
Was it Tropic Thunder?
Good film as well.
Thunder, yeah.
Great.
Wouldn't really
film.
class as a kids' film though. We probably shouldn't have
No.
watched that at the age we all did.
No.
But
Definitely should not have.
yeah.
But that's the same for a lot
That's
of.
yeah. I was gonna say Meet the Fockers. Probably shouldn't have watched that. You know.
Was Ben Stiller in Madagascar?
I don't know.
Who? No, who? He wasn't. Was he? Maybe he
Don't
was one
think
of. Yeah,
so.
I think he was. I think he was.
He was a zebra,
He
right?
He was the
though.
zebra. Yeah.
No, not Ben Stiller. That was thingy. What's his name? Chris
No,
Rock.
I'm sure he was. I'm sure he was in
No,
Madagascar.
yeah.
Cast.
Chris Rock was the lion. No, Chris Rock was the zebra.
He was Alex.
Ben Stiller was the lion.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, he was Alex. Oh, he
yeah.
was. Oh, right. Yeah, I was gonna say Chris Rock was definitely the zebra. He went.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller wasn't.
Yeah.
I've just got them
Chris,
mixed up.
Chris Rock is.
Oh, Madagascar.
zebra.
What a trilogy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who else is in this? Got David Schwimmer.
oh fucking
giraffe.
Sacha Baron Cohen as Julian. King
Yeah.
Julian.
Great.
I like to
Fucking
move it.
brilliant.
I think
like
Chris
that.
Rock is a very underrated actor.
Yeah,
To be
he
honest, he
definitely.
was he actually made his way into a lot of films, but you know when you say like oh Grown Ups, you don't really mention him.
You mentioned Adam
No.
Sandler, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the thing is, Adam Sandler and Kevin James have really come out the best in those films, isn't it? Because it boosted Kevin James to do a lot of his own solo, like where he's the standout star in his films and everything. After
Yeah.
that,
And David
Yeah, Chris
Spade,
Rock's a great
David
actor.
Spade as well, of course.
oh, he's a fantastic actor.
yeah, definitely.
You've got his film with Adam Sandler on Netflix, the more recent one, didn't you? The one where they fake their own deaths and whatever. I can't remember what it's called though. I think it's called the Do Over on Netflix.
Oh yeah, the Do Over.
Oh, I
Yeah,
have seen
Well, that,
yeah.
that came out quite a while ago actually.
Yeah, with Adam Sandler and David Spade.
That
Yeah,
was
but I think it's like 2 years ago.
2016 or something.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Let's have a look.
Let's have a look.
The Do Over.
It was actually quite a while ago.
2016. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I
It's 5
have.
years ago.
I just have
I did
Madagascar.
rewatch that the
I
other
have-
week. Yeah, Adam Sandler's another one of those actors from
Yeah, he
that 2000s era.
triggered
Like,
period and just fell off. the
Yeah.
earth until his latest Netflix film. What was it called?
yeah,
Hidden
he's done a
Gems?
lot of deals with Netflix, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Hidden Gems.
Hidden Gems is a great film.
Well, because he was one of the people who were talked to nominate for an Oscar for that. wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, arguably should have won it.
I mean, I don't think he actually got nominated in the end, did he? I think it was one of the people who talked about it, but never got
He
nominated.
talked about being nominated, didn't get nominated because of some bullshit reason. Like, I think
He's
it's
a
just
comedy
like
actor.
it wasn't his kind of film, so they didn't like it. I do agree with Kayla, it was a bit long for the film, but the film was great. I let them big. I let them chunky.
Mucho likes you. Go. That brought out a lot of memes, I think.
Oh, definitely, yeah. What else have we got? Does anyone in the chat have any film recommendations that we should have seen, but definitely have not, or haven't talked about yet?
Should we use this
still-
point in the chat to let people ask their own questions? Anything
Yeah,
related
sure.
to childhood. So if you're in the chat right now
Anything related to childhood.
and you would like to know either anything based off of either three of us,
Oh,
or if you have any specific
Caleb's mentioned-
topics.
I've just scrolled up and seen something that we have talked about extensively before. Star Wars.
Mhm.
Oh, Star Wars. Right, should we talk
Star
about Star
Wars,
Wars for a little
Star
bit?
Wars. Star Wars. This is your time, chat, to get any questions in that you have that you want us to answer. But we're going to talk about Star Wars for about 10 minutes.
So,
uh,
I have
yeah.
all 6 of the VHS tapes of the original 6 Star Wars.
Wow.
nice.
I know.
I've got 2 different box sets of the first 6.
I think there's something
I don't know
about
where the
watching it
first
on
one came from.
VHS that just makes all the difference.
Yeah, I've still got videos of stuff somewhere. I can't remember where they are though.
I have all 9 on Blu-ray at home. I don't have a Blu-ray player, so I don't know why I have them on Blu-ray. Like, my parents bought it me for Christmas like 2 years ago or something. And I was like, I don't have a Blu-ray player. Why have you bought this? Oh, well, I guess we'll have to keep it at home where the PS4 is. I was like, fuck you. That doesn't count. Trip to Disney Hollywood Studios to see the Star Wars set. I mean, if we're already planning a trip to go to the to Orlando anyway.
Let's make it a road trip.
Yeah. I mean, Orlando is near Disney, so yes.
Yes.
I don't like that Disney has basically turned Star Wars into like a money leeching enterprise.
Yeah.
You see these things where like people go into the workshop and they pay like
Ooh,
a
we need milk.
grand for a
I need
lightsaber,
milk. I forgot to buy that.
and it's just like
It's understandable though. If it's made by the actual prop guys, everything it's like it's an
I
actual
like how
prop, it's
James has finally popped up into the chat. Did someone say Star Wars?
understandable.
Star Wars. Yeah, so what were your guys' favourite film?
well, out of the
Out of the
all
9.
of them or the original.
Okay, out of the 9 and then out of all of them. Because my answer is different for both.
That is, you've just said the same thing twice in different ways.
No. Nope. I have not.
You said out of the 9, then out of all of them.
Mm-hmm. Out
See,
of the 9, my favourite is number 5.
I wouldn't class
all
it
of
as
them, my
out
favourite
of
is number
9. I
4.
would say out of the original 6 and then out of all of them. I
Yeah.
wouldn't put them in. I wouldn't put the original 6 in the same league as the last
Oh
3.
no.
Okay, so my favourite film out of every Star Wars film that's ever been made, Rogue One.
Oh, okay, right. I get what you mean by out of all of them now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
I understood that, but I wouldn't have put
I
those
still wouldn't
last
put
3
the
in the
sorts
same
of taking the
category as.
last 3 out of canon and just binning them, like just saying, "Oh, they never happened."
Yeah.
Like
I wouldn't
it
blame them.
still did happen, but yeah, Rogue One is the best. Exactly, Kayla. Yes,
Rogue One is amazing. It is a fantastic film.
I.
We've talked
really
about this
like Rogue
before,
One.
Aaron. I'm going to say it again. I'm sorry, you're going to have to hear it again. But the end scene with Darth Vader will forever send shivers down my spine every time that I watch it. Because you see Darth Vader in his
Yes.
fucking prime tearing down people, and
Yes.
it is glorious. And it's not like it was in the old movies where the suit was so robust that he could barely move in it. It's
Like
a proper
he
Darth
had the-
Vader suit where you
he
see
had
him.
some
just-
ability. He had like
Yeah.
the extra edge and just that.
Oh, it's the only noise you can make about
Wow.
it.
Okay, but out of the original 6, what would you say was your favorite?
Number 5.
Number 5?
You mean episode 5 or number
Episode
5?
or 5? Yeah.
Episode 5.
Episode 5.
I
Okay.
would have said episode 2 if it wasn't for I don't like the sand. It's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah. Just
Because
forever memed in it.
I grew up on the remakes.
Yeah,
because
so I
didn't
grew up on the first, like, episodes
one.
1 to 3.
But and out of the remakes, episode 2 is by far my favorite, just because of the whole Colosseum scene.
It is a great scene.
It's a great scene. But if I had to rank them out of all 6, now that I've watched them and grown up a little bit, episode 5, episode 4, episode 2.
Okay, so we got
6,
Empire
3,
Strikes
1.
Back. Okay. I get you.
I think I'd have to say episode 5 is my favourite as well.
Yeah, like it's 5 or 4, right? That's your favorite. You can't say anything out of
Yeah.
outside those 2. I would understand an argument for 3.
Yeah, I want to push 3 a little bit.
I would
Yeah, so 3 was Revenge
heavily
of the
understand
Sith.
an argument for 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was going to put them in order, it's like between. I would have to say 5, 3, 4. I don't know if I would put 1 over 6.
Ooh. So you're putting 2 as like, yeah, fair.
I think they're very hard to rate because as I
They
went through a
all
stage
have
of
their
really
own-
liking them when I was younger, and then I hated the
Yeah.
like one to
When you
episodes
go
1, 2,
back and
3,
watch
and
it,
then I
yeah.
go back and watch them again, and I like them again.
Hmm.
Like I used to hate episodes 1, 2, and 3. I thought they were shit. Mainly
Mhm.
because the thing you have to look past for them is the fact that the CGI and the effects in
Yeah,
it
I was
are
just about to
so
say,
bad.
if you think about episode 3 was made, 22 years after episode
Mhm.
episode 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks
for people
so
that-
much worse than episode 6.
And for people that are listening that don't understand, so episode 1 to 3 was actually made in chronological order of 4 to 6. Those 3 were made afterwards, but put into chronological order before.
Yeah. So James and Mike has raised a really good point. If you revisit the prequels now that they have the 4K versions, they make the films good, better than they were, but the dialogue is still shit because they tried to cater for younger audience,
Yeah.
and then Disney took it another level with the new trilogy and fucked it.
Can I raise a very controversial point?
Yeah, go on.
Despite the shit that happened in episode 9, I still enjoyed the movie.
So I have recently gone back and rewatched all the films. I enjoyed episode 9 so much more than I thought I would because I knew what part I'd be disappointed at. And I was like, the
Yeah.
rest, and I knew it was happening. So the
It's
rest
the
of the
ending
film,
that's
I
disappointing.
really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the only part that's disappointing about the film is the whole Emperor with Rey and Kylo Ren scene. Apart from that, even as I was going on, the space battle I think is fucking phenomenal during that
The
part.
worst part about the whole series is the way they introduced that it's Palpatine. I would be fine if they introduced that it was Palpatine in a proper way, but they do it in the starting credits.
They were very quick, way too quick.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, they just told everyone that
They rushed it because they were so focused on their storyline afterwards. They were like, let's just get this out there, and then we don't have to think about what to actually write about it.
Yeah.
They did it in fucking Fortnite. They did it in fucking Fortnite that it was fucking Palpatine. Which I guess, because Disney owned it, they have shares in, was it Epic Games?
Yeah.
Fortnite, whatever it is. So it was a good way for them to get the younger audience involved.
For the
But they
original people
fucked
that
it for the rest of the fan base.
For
which
the
is fan base that
integrity
were
of
more
Star
older
Wars
generation.
itself, it was kind of like a shit show.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of set the stage for, hey, look, we're Disney. We don't actually care about Star Wars. We're just going to rinse it for as much money as we can for the next 15 years.
They set the tone.
Yeah.
They should have just written trilogy. Yeah, they should have. Because they kept changing things as they went on, and it was really, really annoying.
Who would you say is your favorite character out of the later 3, so 7 to 9?
Out of the later 3.
I think I know what everyone's going to be. The answer's going to be. I think we're all going to agree. Maybe. But I'd like to hear.
From what the character could have been or what the character is. Because I have 2 answers.
Yeah, okay, I agree with you.
Do both.
Rey
Do both.
had such, that could have gone on for something.
No. So Rey isn't my answer for that.
No?
My answer for if
mine.
the story was good for them, fucking Phasma.
Yeah.
Phasma's
Also, I will say,
so
don't put any of the people that have been in past movies before that in there.
Yeah.
The new characters that were introduced for these 3 films.
No. My favorite character that got introduced was Poe.
Yeah. Okay.
I liked Poe Dameron.
I do as well. I do. I'm going to say my favorite character that was introduced, very small part, I really liked Mars Kanata.
Yes, I
Really,
did
really
like
liked.
Masked. It's a good.
And for
character.
potential, if you're going to say that, Kylo Ren.
I think Kylo Ren was a very good overall character. I think he was the best out of the trilogy. I liked Poe more because of it's Poe.
And Oscar Isaac is a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
He just plays character phenomenal. Like, what's the film with him and Thingy, the guy who plays the general in the Empire? Plays General Hux, who's in. What's that film? The robot.
He's in one of the films. It's the time travel film.
He's in. It's him, the guy who plays General Hux, and Alicia Vikander, I think, and it's about the robot AI.
Ex Machina.
Yes, that's it. Great film.
Thank you, James. Yeah, so
Yes,
General
thank you,
Hux
James.
is played by Domhnall Gleeson.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
They gave me two names for it for some reason. I was like, why? Why are you giving me two names for this man? About Time is the film that I'm talking about. I loved About Time. I'm
haven't seen
taking
that.
a completely
haven't seen
different
it
path
either.
from Star Wars here. It is a very, I don't want to say rom-com, but it's a great film. It's got Bill Nighy in it. It's got Rachel McAdams in it.
Bill
Also,
Nye, he's forever goated. Sorry,
Bill
should not
Nighy
say
is
that.
forever coated.
Yeah.
It's about a guy that knows that that once he turns 21, gets told that his family can travel in time by like doing certain things, like hiding in a closet or whatever. And they get to go back in time, and then throughout his life, he learns different things about his time travel. Like if he goes back in time, past like the birth of his child, or past the birth of anyone's child that he knew, the gender could change, or the personality of the child could change. It's just a completely different person. And like different events could happen. So it's just it's quite a good
Sounds
movie if you don't
very
watch
Sounds
it.
interesting.
Yeah,
I'll have to add it to the watch
Yeah.
list.
it's very much a rom-com film, but I really liked it. Also,
I
there was
like
an
how
actress-
Ollie's just repeating this, to, like, by the way, in your chat, what everyone else had already said when the film first came out.
Mhm.
He definitely didn't think of that on his own. But yeah, it is a very true point, Ollie. Very true point.
I was kind of bummed that 7 was... Yeah, I agree with James. I was kind of bummed that 7 was
Yeah.
4.2.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the actress's name? Let me Google About Time. Fuck off. I hate Google sometimes.
Wait, is it not working for
'Cause
you? Are you searching up About Time?
I'm just looking up About Time because there's an actress in it, Lydia Wilson. I will come back to her later, but I just wanted to remember the name. But yeah,
Is there any other films that we need to?
I
Well,
don't
now-
know. What is the chat saying right now? Any films that they,
Yeah, have we got any
they think we've
questions?
missed out?
I've just seen one from Ellie.
Oh yeah.
We didn't
Zohan.
talk about Zohan
Yeah.
Zohan.
in Ben's chat. Fucking
Oh, that was the Peanuts one. That
brilliant.
was the Peanuts one.
Yeah, I think
That's the
she just
penis
found
one.
it. I don't know what scene she's thinking about from that.
There's no scene like that in there.
Is there not?
There's no, not like that. He cuts off his hand in an interrogation, like flashback scene, and then kills the guy with his
Oh, I
severed
have
hand.
no idea.
And then
what
drinks some
film I
fizzy
thought
bottle
thinking
with
of.
it.
Oh, Zohan is apparently the stretchy guy she talked about.
Yeah.
But apparently he didn't stretch though. But she swears he did.
He definitely doesn't.
Disco, good.
Disco. Ooh. Yeah. What a great film. Another Adam Sandler one that we
Yeah,
forgot to
of
mention.
course. He's
Right,
just in
yeah.
it. He makes a lot of films great.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't be able to replace him with any other actor.
Oh, definitely not. No.
No.
What do I want to say here? There was a film I'm thinking of, and I've completely forgotten about it that I watched when I was younger. Oh, come on, Aaron. Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah. Goated.
Oh, I went to go watch the remastered extended edition in films last year.
I wish I
Sure.
did. I could have, but I didn't go.
It was during lockdown as well. So it was like the one time I got to go out of the house, and I was just like, it was so good. No, James, I thought of it earlier, and I was gonna write it down, and we started talking about something, so I forgot to write it down. I was like, I remember something earlier that I was supposed to say. The precious,
My precious.
My precious.
precious.
Andy Serkis, what a guy.
Oh,
Got to think of other films that he's done. In fairness, King Kong, part of our generation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Great film. Did motion capture for King Kong.
Which King Kong film is your favorite? Because there's been many.
Are we talking about films that feature King Kong, or
Yes.
in the now monster universe?
Both.
Okay. I did quite like Skull Island.
I really like Skull Island. For what it
Yeah.
was.
I think it's bad that I've only ever watched one King Kong, and I couldn't remember for the life of me what it's called, but it's like probably the first one. That was
Is it a
very,
really old one?
very poorly animated.
Was it the stop motion
very
one?
long?
It was probably the stop motion one, yeah. It was probably on
Yeah.
TV once, and I
Yeah.
ended up just sitting and watching it because I had nothing better to do.
Yeah, that's from like the 60s, the stop motion one. It probably even earlier, I think. Yeah.
I think my favorite one has to be the 2005 one that had Adrian. No, Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Naomi Watts. and
Yeah.
Jack Black.
Yeah.
Oh, that was such a good one.
It's a very good film, yeah.
Just the fucking. They redid the iconic tower scene so
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Like they really did it justice, is what I'm thinking.
For that reason is why I like Skull Island, because they didn't want to try and recreate something. They wanted to try and do something new
Ellie, are you
with the
okay?
character. I've just seen that in your
Have
chat.
you seen that in the chat?
Just.
So she says that he does hit them with, said body part, but I don't think it elasticates. I don't know where you got
Does
that.
not
I don't
You
think it
were
elasticates.
definitely
No.
imagining that, which seems to be a bit of a problem.
If you're going back onto Zohan, my favourite scene is when he's dealing with the crash at the start when he first turns to New York, and he's just like over his feet, and he's like, "Smell it, smell it, smell it. Now take it.
Now take it."
Just slaps him in the face with his foot. I always love it.
Only don't delete it. It's fine. It feels the chat.
Yeah, it was good.
But yeah,
One of my favourite scenes.
Question to both chats: does anyone have any films or TV shows that we have not mentioned from your childhood that you would like us to talk about?
Before we move on to
discuss, before we discuss other things,
Yes,
because we've got a few more things to talk about. For once we are prepared.
we have
We have
actually come
talked about
prepared, yeah.
Zohan. Who'd have thought of a world where Aaron was prepared?
not me.
Especially when you're
I know,
drinking
right?
red wine. I mean, come on.
I'm on my third class. It's fine.
You're gonna have a headache in the morning though as well.
Good luck with that one.
Red wine always gives a headache, mate. So good luck in the morning.
Are we going to be switching up the drinks
Fine.
every fortnight, Aaron? So we start with red wine this
once
week.
Once I finish this bottle of red wine, I will move on to the whiskey because I put it in the fridge and I'll just add a bit of cold water to it.
Cold water. Just have it straight. You'll be fine.
Ollie has raised a valid point. Ogres are like onions. We have layers.
Yeah.
He has mentioned Shrek a few times in the chat, and I was just like, "Oh,
I haven't seen it in fairness.
You haven't seen Shrek?
You haven't seen Shrek? What?
No. I mean, I haven't seen all these comments. I've seen Shrek.
Okay.
Of course, I've seen Shrek.
That would have been a talking point.
I feel like I would have been kicked out of the court for that. Yeah. No, I have seen Shrek. It's one of my favourite films growing up.
Good.
Get out
I
of my
love the
swamp.
dragon.
Oh no. The fucking first scene with the pitchfork guys is forever goated in my mind. Just Shrek's sort of like, boo! And just,
Tell you what, I
also
actually
remember the scene of the. Do you know the Muffin Man? 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 Do you know the
The Muffin Man.
Man.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, the
That's
Muffin
good.
Man. Have you seen that in Spanish?
I
No.
think I watched a clip on TikTok actually.
Amazing in Spanish.
It's hilarious.
It's
You must watch it.
amazing in Spanish.
I'll have to look it up.
Oh, it's so good. The songs on the movie are really good too.
yeah.
They're really.
Yeah.
And then I saw her face. Do.
I'm
Now
a
I believe her.
More onto those
Da-da,
kind of
da.
films. Any Pixar films that you particularly watched? I know that's
Toy
slightly later on.
Story.
Yeah.
Toy Story. Toy
Goated
Story.
I
Toy Story.
thought we'd bring that one
forever.
up.
Toy
Oh.
fucking Story.
I was
I
quite a Cars
went to
fan
the
myself, to
cinema.
be honest.
Oh no, not Cars.
Yeah,
I was thinking I was too old for Cars, or I just didn't like it.
too old for Cars.
just never watched it.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille, great film.
Ratatouille, great, yeah. Another
Great
good
film.
film.
Yeah.
And one that I think was around when I was born, or around about then, Bug's Life.
Oh my god, yeah, Bug's Life.
I
What a
fucking
film that
love
was.
Bug's
I
Life.
loved Bug's Life. Emperor's New Groove. Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah. Got some proper old school ones coming back now.
Oh, thank you, James. Emperor's New Groove is the shit. That is maybe one of my favorite movies. I just always forget about it.
trying to think of other Pixar stuff.
Well, you got The Incredibles as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Incredibles, yeah.
Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. Fantastic.
Wall-E.
What? I
Wall-E's
never watched
Pixar?
Wall-E. Never
Wall-E's
watched
a
Wall-E.
good film.
Wall-E was good, but it was slightly later on, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why I never watched it, because at that point I was starting to.
There
watch
we
all the
go,
superhero
Stream
stuff.
Elements. Why have you only just posted that now? There you go. It's just on the follow thing. I don't know why that second song just come up, but yeah. I agree with Ben. Cars was good.
Cars was
The
good.
original
I
Cars.
really, the OG Cars, 2006. I love that film, and that is going to lead us on to a later topic as well.
Ooh.
So
Ooh.
there used to be a video game of the first Cars that was released, and I'll get into more details later. But I really liked that
Okay.
game. Let's just say that.
Okay. Right, okay. Yeah.
Sound like Jay Peralta there. Okay, cool.
Oh, we missed the TV show. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, all of those. How I
It's
Met Your
not
Mother.
childhood.
It's not
though,
a
is it?
childhood.
Oh,
we'll
no,
we'll
it's not
cover that
how,
next time.
How I Met Your Mother, though, is. How I Met Your
Uh,
Mother. Friends.
2.5 Men for me was.
2.5
Two
Men.
and a Half Men.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I watched that as a kid.
that was the
Fucking-
crack.
Family
Yeah.
Guy. American Dad. We missed all of these good TV shows.
I wouldn't say that they were specifically childhood ones though.
I watched How I Met Your Mother and Family Guy from a very young age.
Well, How I Met Your
I
Mother,
only
when did
watched
that
Two
come
and a
out?
Half Men.
What, 2009?
What
Maybe?
was this? How I Met Your
How
Mother?
I Met Your Mother, yeah.
Oh,
it can't have
04,
been-
wasn't it?
Can't have been
I have
that
no
old, was
idea.
it? Oh,
I'm
2005. Wow, okay.
Yeah, 2005.
Fucking
I
hell.
did not know it was that long.
The first series was old. And I have to agree with Kayla, Vampire Diaries, Gossip Girl. James, I went to in deep context about Futurama earlier. You missed it. Was anybody else disappointed by the end of How I Met Your Mother?
Oh,
Since
completely.
we're on the topic.
Again, another one of
No,
those things
I've
where they
never watched it.
rushed the ending.
I do
Because they
think they
just
rushed the
kinda-
ending. I think they should have left it 20 minutes before they ended it.
Okay.
Just skip the part
Skip
where
the
she is
hospital
ill.
bit.
Yeah. Just
okay.
just build up more on what happened after the train journey. Yeah, the alternate ending was way better, but it's still a bit shit. Because like,
Yeah, what was the alternate ending? I can't remember what that was.
oh, so it was more just like they lived happily ever after.
Oh,
and
okay.
Mum comes into the scene with the kids, and
I
that.
see.
Oh, no, the mum doesn't come in to see the kids. It was just both endings were rough. It's just the alternate ending was better than the other one. The ending to Gossip Girl was shite also, but I know neither of you watched that, so I won't go into
No.
that.
Yeah, screw you, Kayla.
I think there's a chance for another topic there, but all of those kind of like Two Broke Girls, How I Met Your Mother, Big Bang Theory, or
Mhm.
much later on sort of sitcoms.
Oh, ooh, okay. I have to bring something up that's been pointed out in my chat, and I don't think either of you would have watched it.
Okay.
Grace and Frankie.
I've
Did you
never
watch
watched it.
Grace and Frankie.
I know of it. I've never watched it though.
No idea what that is.
That's a more recent one, James, isn't it? Like it got released in 2005, 2015 or something. It's very funny. It's good. It's very good. I'd recommend watching it, but it's one of the newer ones. So we'll leave it for another episode.
Yes.
Right. Do we want to move
Of-
on to our next topic?
This shit show.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
Right. So next topic on the list, this is going to be a fun half an hour to 45 minutes. Childhood crushes and the love life of your childhood.
I go back to the one I mentioned earlier,
Yeah,
which
let's
is
go
Lydia
for it.
Wilson. Lydia
Yeah.
Wilson. Lydia Wilson. Lydia Wilson. She played Kit Kat in About Time. Don't know what other films she is, but Lydia Wilson. She's an actress. She's 13 years older than me, but it's fine. She was
Oh,
in Star Trek Beyond as well.
Was she?
Yep.
Let me have a look. I'd recognise her.
Right, so I think the first one for me personally, if I say the word Transformers,
Megan Fox.
yeah,
Megan
I think
Fox.
as a childhood, when you see that film and you see Megan Fox, the unfortunate thing is my girlfriend is in the chat right now, but I'm sure she wouldn't mind me talking about it.
Hi, how you doing?
Megan Fox is something else. She
Okay.
in that film they did her good.
Oh yeah.
What did you boys think about Carly Witwicky? She's played by Rosie Huntington.
Oh
Whiteley?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Rosie
Witwicky is
Huntington.
the surname of Sam
Let's have a
Witwicky
look.
in the Transformers.
James, yes, I have
Okay,
seen
yeah.
Megan Fox's thumb. Stop ruining nice things for me.
Tina Thumbs.
Have you boys seen her thumbs?
I have, yes. I have.
It's ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh-y.
You can look past that though.
You can look past it.
It's Megan Fox. Like,
Married. Who's married to Jason Statman?
I think Megan Fox.
Oh, Jason Statham. Yeah,
Yeah,
Rosie
Jason
Huntington
Statham,
Wiley's
Oh, right.
Rosie Huntington's
Who's
yeah,
Statman?
Stathman. Yeah, she said
Stathman.
Statman in my chat. I was like, who is the Statman? How many kills do I have on Warzone, Mr. Statman? It is over 1,000 now, apparently.
Whee.
I think it's way over 1,000 actually.
Right, so
Yeah.
we have some people agreeing in chat that Harry Styles for the ladies. Harry Styles, I feel like he definitely.
Would you class that childhood though?
I don't
suppose
know.
you would.
When was
Secondary school. For me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think it was like
That's
2012.
teenage years,
They
that.
must have.
Um,
I think
teenage years for me.
Harry was probably like 16 or 17 when they went on X Factor.
Yeah. How old is he now? Let's have a look.
old.
Old.
Harry is.
He must be like 20.
Okay.
27 maybe? No, not that
for
old.
the
Not that
girls.
old. 24 or something.
For the girls. in the
27.
chat. Oh, really?
Yeah, Harry Styles 27.
Ah, I didn't think he was that close to my age. Shit. I have to bring two up for the girls in the chat. Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor.
Oh, Ewan McGregor.
I have a man crush on Ewan McGregor.
He is he's classy, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, he is a very fine man indeed.
My man crush is a lot different, but
I think my man crush would have to be
Hello there.
I would have to say Henry Cavill.
Ooh, which version?
What do you mean, which version?
yeah.
Superman or
Just
Witcher?
Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill, the man himself. Not a
Himself, yeah.
character, but just him.
Fair, yeah.
You know,
That's
See,
very fair.
mine's
he's got it all really.
very weird because he's a lot older than both yours. But Robert Downey Jr.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay. I have
I
issues
just think
with
he's a hunk of a man.
I don't have issues with Robert Downey Jr. I thought he's always way too snobby. Way too in your face.
I think
about
he's just
everything.
very self-aware.
Yeah.
That's what makes him look kind of snobby. But he's just very self-aware.
Mhm.
He knows who he is and what he is, and he knows that everyone else does as well. He's one of the people that people don't want to mess with because they know that he could, destroy them.
Could we go back to the shows from earlier to pick out our crushes? Because the first one we mentioned in the whole podcast, Selena Gomez. Let's go back.
Yeah,
Selena
okay,
Gomez.
Selena
Oh.
Gomez.
Selena
Yeah.
Gomez.
Selena fucking Gomez.
Like,
Have to say Mila Kunis as well.
oh lordy. You know what? Yeah. I
Yeah.
would agree with you.
I feel like that has to. We have to put that in the mix.
Man crush Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, yeah.
oh.
Again, I would put him on the same level as Henry Cavill. Like,
Ollie has not said anything about crushes and has now said hello there for Obi-Wan and any of the crushes in Marvel. Ollie, is there something you want to tell us?
You put Marvel, though, not Marvel. What did he put? Marvel?
Marvel?
Oh no, he
Yeah,
spelled
but
no, he
Marvel.
spelled Marvel wrong. He put the L before the E. That's what it is.
Ah.
Yeah.
Mavley.
right, so
Lovely.
Georgia has got her own back here. She's gone with Brooklyn Beckham, Cole Sprouse, Jay Alvarez, Jack Frost from Rise of the Guardians, and Greg Sulkin. She really came prepared there. I probably know two of those people.
Cole Sprouse is one of the brothers.
Oh,
from,
Cole Sprouse is
so
Riverdale,
I don't know
right?
which one he is. No, I don't know which one he is, but he's one of the Zack and Cody's.
Yeah.
I think he's
one
the
of
one
them.
in Riverdale. Brooklyn Beckham, nah. Jay Alvarez, no idea who he is.
Jack Frost.
Good Jay Alvarez.
Let's have a look at these people.
Jay Alvarez.
Did any of you watch the original Peter Pan movie?
Yes,
Hold on,
but a long time ago.
Jack Frost is a cartoon character, Georgia. What have you...
Yeah.
This can't be right. I'm going to have words with you later on.
Yes, it's Riverdale.
But no, people have got a lot of cartoon
Ooh.
crushes.
Have you watched Riverdale, either of you?
No.
I've been forced to watch a little bit of it, but not so much that I could tell you anything about it.
Betty from Riverdale. Oh lordy. Oh lordy. She is a fine character. What the fuck is that actress's name? So I can send it to Dalton so we can have a look.
I will say another childhood crush, one that we've recently tapped on with our movie watch along we had the other day. Vanessa Hudgens.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
I was gonna leave that
Musical.
for later. Lily
right.
Reinhardt.
Damn.
Lily Reinhardt.
Lily Reinhardt.
Betty, yes, Betty. I know Camilla Mendes is there. I know Veronica is there. But Lily Reinhardt is like, ooh, he does it for me. Also, rest in peace, Luke Perry. Like, also a goated man crush.
I know who Lily Reinhardt is.
Yes. I know Dalton has seen this, but I don't know whether Ben has seen this. Have you seen 13 Reasons Why?
13 Reasons Why. Let me have a little look. I've obviously heard of it. Don't think I've watched it.
Well, you should. It's a very good program.
It's a very good. It's a very, very good program.
Yes.
Okay, definitely have not watched it.
Have you not?
No.
I'd advise you do it. It's fantastic.
Let's
I think it's very, very, very good. And for Dalton, seeing as though he has watched it, what's her fucking name? Is it Chloe?
Chloe.
Bryce's ex-girlfriend. Also,
Oh, yes.
Also,
yeah.
Justin Foley. Yes, also Justin Foley.
Justin Foley, yeah.
Brandon Flynn
Very,
playing
very
Justin
hot man.
Foley was amazing.
Look. Won't say anything about Justin Foley, but yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we also can't ignore Margot Robbie here.
Oh,
I was gonna.
but
I
it's
was
a bit
going
a
to, I
lot
was,
later on, though, isn't it?
later on, I was gonna come back to it because I was gonna come back to.
yeah. It's kind of
Yeah.
like breaking on the edge of childhood crushes, but it's definitely in there.
Definitely a crush now.
Oh, apparently I have watched 13 Reasons Why. I've been made to watch it.
As your girlfriend just shouted you
whether,
out.
yeah, whether or not I remember it is another story, but apparently I have watched it.
Pretty just don't remember it. Probably because you were made to watch it. You're just like, nah, whatever.
Yeah.
Doing a
Oh
typical
lord!
boyfriend thing.
Oh lord! That would be a very interesting episode of this podcast if we brought Georgia on.
Oh goodness, I don't think
Oh.
she would.
I think you have to, Georgia, now.
I think you have to.
That would be like a couples counselling session for 2 hours. That'd be wonderful.
We've already got me and Dalton. It's only fair that
Yeah,
you and
that's true.
Georgia come
That's
on.
true.
Yeah, true.
Right. Well, with childhood crushes, we could also talk about real life childhood crushes, real life childhood love stories. Do we have any? Were you
Oh, I
two?
have one.
Were you two
I,
boys
I
that
have a bad. I have a bad one.
Go
got
on,
your
there you
love
go
lives
first.
together?
So, this year 8. I want to say it was year 8. Me and this girl were very flirty with each other. I'm looking away from the camera because I can't even face the chat. I don't want to read it at this point. I'm just gonna say my story. So she was like, me and her were very buddy buddies. Year 8, it's like it's the kind of time when people start getting a little bit flirty and everything.
Yeah.
But I kind of always had in the back of my mind, like, she doesn't like me, blah blah blah. We're just mates. So we go on this so we had this school trip to France. We went to North.
Oh, it always
Normandy to
starts
all-
with the
all the
French
history.
trip, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All the stars of the French.
Within
trip.
school trips.
And me and her, so you had to pick a buddy for the trip, and me and her were like best mates at this point. So big up her. I won't mention her name. We will call her Smelly because I'm looking at the Umbreon right now. So me and Smelly, we hung about all for the first half of the trip. So we were on the boat together. We went to all the shops together, bought loads of different all the shops, and went to a bakery. We had a really cute, weird friend date. And then we were staying in this I don't want to say massive mansion thing, but there's a whole school year there. There's 140 of us staying in this place. And it was outside when we were playing rounders or something. And me and her were we were fielding together next to each other within talking distance. And one of the balls went over our head or got hit towards us. So we both started running. And it was over us, and neither of us were going to reach her. So I was like, "Yeah, I'll throw you." So I picked her up, and just for some reason, my hand got caught on her shorts.
Oh no!
No idea how it got caught in the webbing on the inside or something. So we're both however old this time, 14, 15, something like that.
You're right, you'd be younger than that.
Yeah, younger than that. So my hand just stays in there, and I just get carried by her weight because I threw her. And you can imagine where my hand ended up.
I can just picture this scene right now.
Because it's
I'm picturing it in my head how it plays out.
This rumor went. So people found out because she told her mates, I told my mates, where it was like, "Oh yeah, keep it between yourself, blah 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 blah."
And it never does it?
It never
Never.
stays within the. It's haunted me to this day because people still bring it up every now and again. Bless her, it's more damaging to her. It's like, "Oh, haha, you went to blah blah this base with this bus," and I was like, "Yeah, Aaron's a bit of a dickhead." But yeah, awful story.
God, I haven't got anything as bad as that. Jesus.
I was gonna say I asked that question not expecting the answer, to be honest with you.
I didn't realize the question. Why is streamer that's just said response message in my chat? Hello?
Who
No, I've
knows?
just seen that.
You've got a ghost.
That's really odd.
Go on, Vin. Have you got any childhood stories?
Any childhood stories? Let's have a
Anything you want to share in front of
yeah,
your
anything like
girlfriend?
love stories you
Honestly.
want to share in front of your girlfriend? Go on.
Yeah.
Just make
This
sure she
is-
already knows them.
Well, if not, now she'll
All
know.
ones she doesn't know is. Oh wait, is there any that Georgia doesn't know?
Honestly, I don't think. I mean, I think as a child, I was a very flirty child. You know, I was the kid with the very blonde blue hair and the blue eyes. You know, just talked to pretty much everybody. Don't think I ever got into like, you know, any childhood relationships or, you know, when you pretended that you had a girlfriend. But it was definitely. I just had a flirty childhood. It sounds terrible for me to say. Kayla's calling me out saying I blonde blue hair. No, I had blonde hair and blue eyes. There we go.
You did say blonde blue hair at first.
Did
You
I?
did say
Did I?
blonde blue
Yeah,
hair,
yeah,
but
you
I
did,
we
yeah.
knew what you meant.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
weren't gonna call you. We weren't gonna call you. out.
Blonde
We're gonna
hair
be
and the
nice
blue
people.
eyes. I was the kid that, you know, everyone wanted to talk to.
All
Yeah,
right.
but-
Sorry, Ard. Fucking hell.
Woo-hoo.
I hate saying that. It sounds horrible. I don't like saying that.
It's complete opposite to what my childhood was like.
Go
Go
on.
on. Yeah, see, I'm being called out already. This is horrible.
Go. We'll give you a little time to think.
I'll have a little think.
Yeah.
Hamilton,
Go on. Okay, right. Let me think
anything
of
from
one.
you?
I don't know really. I had one where a teacher defended me and my girlfriend at one point when we were on a school trip, which is quite cool. Never had
You're
that.
just calling Ben out. in this
Yeah, I know,
chat.
this is horrible. Shut up, no you weren't. Alright.
Have you got one, Ben? Have you got one? Or do you want me to go?
Yeah, go on.
I'll go. All right, okay. It's nothing like. Oh, it's gonna sound pathetic now. We've heard Aaron's, but
Yeah, I know, I'm trying to think of something that
Yeah.
even gets on
I
his
should've gone last.
level.
yeah.
It's like,
No,
wow,
I
I
was
had
like,
my
sort of-
first kiss and he's like, I touched some girl. Like, okay, whoa.
Accidentally.
No, I think it's year 9. I think we went on a school trip to the National History Museum in London,
Aye.
and as with a girl at that point, we were in a relationship. Obviously, it wasn't a proper relationship; it was a school relationship. We met up a few times outside school, but we only really saw each other in school. Remember, we sat next to each other on the coach on the way there and back, and we were getting rinsed the whole way there, like just by other kids, just taking the piss where we were sat there and whatever, and then like we'd either be holding hands or whatever, and all this sort of shit. And on the way back, I fell asleep on her shoulder because I just wanted to sleep because it was like an hour-long journey or whatever. And she fell asleep like on my head or whatever, or the other way around, whatever. I can't remember what round it was. And like other kids just started like chucking stuff at us to wake us up and whatever, and like just being dicks basically. And one of the teachers from the school turned around and literally had a go at the whole coach for being dickheads, which I found pretty cool. Just like a little, our love got defended by a teacher, which is pretty cool.
So Kayla in my chat, I accidentally stepped on some guy's ball in school in year 3.
Oh, God. Well,
That poor guy.
Dalton's
is
story
fucking horrible.
has reminded me of
Was
something.
rough.
So I feel like I have a good enough story here. This is something that I have not thought about since it happened, but
Yeah.
you've racked my memory. So I used to do scouts back in the day.
Oh,
So
Yes.
scouts, we were probably aged what,
13
9,
upwards?
9, 10,
yeah, it was around that sort of
something like that.
age.
So probably about 10 or 11. And I went to Liverpool on a scout trip. And again, the flirty boy I was, just flirting with everyone. And I've just remembered now that there was this one occasion where there was this particular female that, I got a crush on while I was over there in Liverpool. She was from Liverpool. It was these 2 scout groups that got put together, and they were hosting us. Now, in
Alright.
front of the entirety of my scout group and the other scout group, which she was a part of. Now, this was before the days that I had like a phone, Facebook, didn't ask this girl how old she was. I was just, being flirty with her. It turns out she was probably like 16 or 17 and was way older than I thought. I decided that it was going to be a good idea to make a ring out of like a flower or some shit and propose to her in front of everybody in the entire scout group during a campfire night. And I was bullied for that for like a year in the scouts afterwards because, who does that? And yeah, so you mentioning the museum reminded me of that because it was after the museum. But there you go. There you go. There is my traumatic, embarrassing story.
Okay. I could equal your pain here and say an
Proposing
embarrassing
to-
one.
Yeah.
I think it was like start of year 10. I liked a girl.
Wait, Dalton.
Yeah.
A message from Georgia. Hard to believe the flirty, dirty scout boy had all the ladies despite the Hitler aesthetic.
Whoa.
Wow.
Jesus.
Well, you know what? She fell for me too, so she can't talk. It's fine.
Oh, Georgia falls for the Heil.
Oh man.
Can we say that?
I don't know if we
No,
can.
we can. I've checked extensively on this topic because I've made jokes before.
Okay.
We can also call out prison and living quarters in Warzone. It's fine.
Lovely.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, go on. I'll equal your pain on embarrassing stuff. So I think it was like start of year 10. I asked a girl out. She said yeah. And then literally 2 hours later, she broke up with me because she only said yeah because the amount of people that were standing around. She didn't want to embarrass me.
Oh my goodness.
So I've had that. Yeah.
Oh, that's broke. That's awoken a repressed
Yeah,
memory.
I was gonna
for
say
me.
that's just rejuvenated a memory for me as well. I'll let Aaron go
You want
first.
to go first? Okay, I'll go first. So I think this is year 10. So I'm a little bit older at this point, a little bit wised in, and me and this, I fancied the shit out of this girl called Molly. She was like, I don't know why. I think it was like the little pixie haircut kind of thing that she had going on that like had it for me. But yeah, I had a massive crush on her, and this is the part of the time where we all started going out drinking, so it must have been year 11. And I was at my mate's house at this point, Sam's. Me and him were we had a few beers, we were just playing COD, whatever. And I get a message off her, just like, which is having a casual conversation, and because it's over text, and I'm a young, naive boy, I keep going along with it. And by the end of the night, because me and Sam were just in a really drunky mood, she ended up asking me out, and I said yes. Not thinking this is over text. This is really weird. Turns out, she'd passed out at a house party. Wasn't her.
Oh god, that's awful.
Yep.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Right.
Was her friends. I got bullied about that for the rest of year 11.
Well, being reminded of Dalton's story about being dumped, 2 hours later, I had a major crush on this girl in primary school. So this was probably about year 4, going into year 5 probably.
Oh,
Proper childhood crush.
Well, this is proper
17
childhood
years
crush.
ago now, yeah.
This is a long time ago. So there was this girl. I'd probably had a crush on her for a long time before, I finally got the courage to ask her out. Now, I thought we were dating, I thought we were in a relationship at this point. I'd asked her out, she said yes. It was smooth sailing probably for a couple of weeks. And then one day, another boy in my year, who I won't name, but did me dirty really, he asked this girl out. And she said yes, in front of me. And I'm standing there in the middle of the playground, like crying my eyes out. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? Why have you just said yes when he's asked you out? And she's like, oh, I didn't know we were dating. So there's me in front of all
Ooh.
these people after this kid has just asked her out, and I'm like, wow, okay. So were we dating this whole time, or was I just like dreaming about it?
An idiot.
Yeah. So I've thought
Oh,
about
dear.
that from the day it happened.
Ben.
Have you seen what George has put in your chat box?
My first little boyfriend used to draw portraits of me and call me his muse. He used to give me books he thought I'd like with the little love notes inside them. Wow. Okay, I've been fully called out there, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get you water. Lovely.
I was just about to say, Ben, Georgia might have some bad news for you.
Oh well.
You haven't
think
been
you step the
dating
game
this
up,
whole
Ben.
time. Yeah.
You know what? I do get her water, but I also get her water with ice in it. That just, takes it to the next
Oh,
level.
yeah, that's fine then.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fine then. Yeah, yeah.
Did
yeah.
you curb like
Georgia,
little
you
bits of
talking
lemon as well?
shit.
Oh, is
No,
that too
that's
far?
too much. Come on. We're only dating.
What's this
Oh
from
my god,
Kayla?
Kayla's got an awful one. Here, let's read this one out. I was playing handball with some friends, and the guy I was dating came up to me and said we were over just so he could date my best friend. Jeez.
Wow.
Oh, the little fucker. Are you still friends with that best friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a horrible thing when when you think
You've been called out a bit, by the way.
Be called out for the ice.
not even with ice. I'm gonna time her out from the chat.
No, the thing is, it's not even ice. He just goes outside, gets a scoop of snow.
Do you
and
want
just
to
throws it
know
all
what's so
over.
horrible about that story that I've just told? Because obviously, I expose myself where I live, Jersey. It's a very small place, so everyone that you go to school with, you basically go to school with until you finish college.
Yep.
Because you
Yep.
all grow
Mhm.
up together. There's no like variation of schools that you can go to. You all have to go to the same school. So when I'm in a club at 18, 19, and then you see the same people that you have had encounters with, shall I say, when you were either younger or growing up in school, and it is the awkwardest
It's
thing
so awkward. I know
to see these
exactly what you
people.
mean.
And when they're drunk and like people just say things, yeah. I think actually at one point Georgia and I.
Only if it's an interesting story, Kayla.
I want to hear the
Is
story
it?
of when Ben asked Georgia out.
Yep.
I don't think we.
Even put no, we don't.
There's not really much to it.
Kayla, we'll wait for when Georgia comes to the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
'Cause
the
I've-
girl that I was talking about in year 4 or 5, Georgia and I were actually at a club once, and this girl happened to be there, and she decided that it was going to be, the right idea to come up to Georgia, and start talking to her about our, little crush, little pastime relationship. So that was fun. Can't really avoid those ones when you live in Jersey.
It's my A-level maths bitch.
I remember my most
Wow.
recent girlfriend. The one that the last girlfriend I had. We went out. I went out with a load of her mates drinking, and I didn't know that one of my ex-girlfriends that I'm now best friends with had started working at this particular club, and we literally the first steps into walking into the club. We're already a little bit rocky at this point, and I see my ex, and she basically was running up to me and literally jumps on me and hugs me and whatever, and we're hugging, but we're good friends. Then we have a little catch up and whatever, and at this point my girlfriend's gone and sat down with her mates and whatever, and then I've gone and sat back down, and she just looked at me and gone, "Who was that?" And I went, "It's my ex-girlfriend." And then immediately I shouldn't have. I knew as soon as I said that I shouldn't have
You're in
said
the
that.
wrong. Yeah.
You fucked up.
Like you fucked up big time.
And she just went, okay, and then turned around and talked to her mates, and I just didn't get a single word out of it for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
I was just like, fuck.
I mean, at least you had the chance, tell this girl that you were dating, oh, that was my ex-girlfriend. In this case, the girl that I, had a crush on back in year 4 just came up to us in the club and obviously realised that Georgia was, with me, and just started telling her about pastime relationship, and I'm just standing there next to her like, yep, this is great. We'll keep talking about that. How about we go and sit in that booth and we can talk more about it?
I am very grateful at the fact that none of my ex-girlfriends knew about each other or have ever met each other. After, yeah, whilst I was dating them, none of them knew each other, which is good.
Hmm.
The most awkward one was the fact that in third year of uni, I want to say, maybe second year, I was dating my housemate. That was fun. Because everyone was like, "Oh no, Aaron, it's not going to work." I was like, "Oh, it will work, it's fine." It didn't work.
Yeah. Nah.
Not because of the reasons you might think. It's because we were both massive slags.
Well, Ellie's saying you'll play Kiss Chase. Was that a game that you guys used to play in your school?
What the
We did.
fuck is Kiss Chase?
That was
I used to
I
play
can't
Kiss
say
Chase.
that I ever played it, but I did know that it happened at our school. It was a very weird
Yeah,
thing.
I have played it. Not
Is
going
that
to
what
lie.
you run about trying to kiss people?
Yeah, pretty
No,
much.
it's where a girl runs after a. Well, normally in the thing, it used to do whenever I played it, it was a girl running after the boys, and like you had to like run
Okay.
away, and then if they caught up to you, to kiss you basically. But at that stage, you're like, oh no, cooties.
no,
so you're, like,
cooties,
running
yeah.
away.
Oh
Yeah,
no, cooties.
So that's why you're running away, because they're like, ha, and they find it fun
Oh.
to torture you. Yeah, but I have played that. Yeah.
What do you mean, James? Exactly the reason we did think. What are you on about? Because a lot of stuff has happened in the past 3 minutes. Also, when I was, I remember now. I think it was year 5 or year 6. We had this massive field at the back of our primary school. So it was girls against boys, and I think we had a massive game of like. It wasn't like prisoner, but it was like. So everyone got this tag, and if you got to tag someone with your tag, you got their tag, and they had to follow the person you tagged had to follow you around.
Okay, I get you. I think we might have had a similar game.
Yeah, so you tag someone, and then you had to tie that tag to the belt, so their hand was on your belt, and they followed you around. You got their tag, and you had to tag as many people as you can. That was the weirdest game ever. It was like slavery on droids. It was like, what the fuck is happening? Not tag rugby. It's similar, but weird.
Yeah, primary school was just a strange place, I think. Many
Game,
weird
I'm
things
not
I've
that-
seen
I'm
happened.
Ollie's
not a-
comment in Aaron's stream, by the way, and I can imagine the fact that he probably has never played Kiss Chase. Yes, Ollie, you didn't need to state that.
Even if Polly was playing Kiss Chase, he wouldn't know what it was.
Hmm.
He joke, but
7 minutes in heaven. Yeah, Kayla brings up a good point. I don't think we had that in our
I've
primary
played
school.
it once and it was weird as fuck. It was just so awkward.
What is it?
I don't think the aim of the game ever actually happened in our
No,
school. It was just a
never
case
happened.
of
So it
you know
was the
two
thing
people
where,
got.
like,
Yeah, go on. I'll let you go.
so you'd spin a bottle and it landed on a boy, and they spin a bottle and it landed on a girl, and those two people had to go away into a room or a closet or something,
Or like a
away-
cupboard or
like-
something. Yeah.
or something like that, and spend 7 minutes with each other. And the aim was that, oh, they might start getting off with each other, blah 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 blah. But usually it was really awkward conversation because you'd never get got with the person you wanted to. So
I never played that.
I remember playing it once, and I got put with this girl, and I knew I didn't like the girl, and this girl did not like me. So we just sat there, and we're like, so, and we just talked about How I Met Your Mother for like 7 minutes. And we're actually really good friends now because we talked about How I Met Your Mother for 7 minutes and like had that mutual connection with each other. Never liked each other, but
I
had
love
that
how that turned
connection
out
and
well for
always
you.
talked. Yeah, it was great.
I mean, I've played Spin the Bottle, but I think that's a little bit later on. When
Mm-hmm.
you played that sort of game. I think if there's anyone over the age of 80, like over the age of 15 that hasn't played Spin the Bottle, you haven't lived.
I think drinking games is another time, another topic, another stream.
It's
Oh, yeah.
definitely another topic. Yeah.
But I just want to mention one. Have you ever played card tag?
Card tag. Go on.
So it was like Ring of Fire, but we took a load of the rules out. And if you got a card, you've got a chance to throw the card at someone. And if it
Okay.
hits someone, both of you had to drink. So we took out like
Interesting, okay.
we took out categories. We took out the Master. We took out Waterfall. We took out Rhyme, and we took out whatever Queen was. And instead had that, and it was great. I loved that. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Drinking games for another topic. That would be
Yeah.
Yeah.
that'd be a good laugh.
Just drinking on a whole other
Yeah.
level is a good topic.
I mean, depending on, I think, what age group you are in, and I think it depends on when you started drinking, really, doesn't it?
I mean, we could just go throughout the whole expansion of it. I could bring one of my, if we like all brought on one of our mates from drinking, or like especially me and Ben, I think that could be quite funny.
Yeah.
Because I definitely know either or I could just bring on Johnny and Adam, because I think they'd be down. You've met Adam, haven't you, Dalton?
I have, yeah.
Is Tinder a topic for another day? We could do Tinder next time after my Tinder stream, which is tomorrow, by the
about
way. Follow
We could do a mix of
me on
Tinder and
Twitch,
relationship
TV,
advice.
Aaron. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I don't think I'm going to be good at that.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. Get Georgia on for that one. Get Georgia on for that one.
Oh dear. I don't think she has any good relationship advice. She ended up with me, so.
Oh. I mean, who? Everyone we know, Ben, Georgia is the best bet.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll have to do
Like,
some
think about it.
persuasion, but it will be difficult.
I think we get. Jazz has invented a drinking game called Killer Shot, and all you need is a pool table and a whole bottle of vodka.
Interesting.
It's very interesting, yeah.
Do you have to be good at pool to play this game?
Oh, I really hope not, because I am not good at pool.
I am, so. Played in a pool league, so, you know. Can go.
My friend James is very good at pool.
Oh my goodness, Pat. Right, so Pat's just come into my chat and reminded me of something that we're gonna have to bring up in the.
No date girls that do horse riding.
Yeah, that's an.
Oh lord, I have stories about that. I have stories.
I will be able to join you on those stories there. Jersey has its fine group of horse riding girls.
Yeah.
Please don't say George is one of them.
No, absolutely not.
I reckon for an episode as well, I could probably bring on my housemate. That could be quite funny.
Yeah. Considering what
My
it was like on your
goodness.
24-hour, yeah.
There's
Hi,
some
Jim.
stories to be told there.
Oh, definitely.
In fact, I should probably get Patrick on for that as well at some point.
Yeah.
You know, just for a little
That'd be-
like 20-minute session.
Yeah. Ellie's coming. Horse riding girls.
Yeah. Wow, that's
So yeah, going back to childhood crushes, because I
Yeah.
don't think we've talked about this enough.
no, we need to cover some more.
Is there any others you had? Okay, I've one. So we talked about Harry Potter before. We've all watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Which girl from Harry Potter? I know Hermione's the basic
Ginny.
one. Yes.
See, I
Yeah.
feel like I'm not in a position to talk about any females from Harry Potter.
Or
I
Luna.
didn't watch it enough.
Ooh, I did like Luna.
Yeah, Ginny or Luna. Even Oscar's put Ginny in Ben's chat. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh,
Yeah.
no,
Validation from Oscar.
I've got to change my answer. Tonks.
Tonks.
Now that I'm older, Nymphadora Tonks.
Which one was Tonks?
She was the weird one. What about Tonks? What about Tonks? Come on, Aaron. Say something about Tonks. I'm going to have to Google this, but she's the one that could change like shape and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know
Like
what you mean.
pink hair. Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
I don't think of pink hair.
Yeah.
Jesus, the Asian twins. Right up your alley, innit, Gee? What other programs? Oh, I was supposed to come back to the stage. So Zach and Cody, yeah? You've
Yes.
both seen episodes of it.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
loads of it, yeah.
So The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Can't remember her name. She's played by. I'm just gonna find her name. Bailey, I want to say.
What do you mean on deck or?
On deck.
On deck.
Oh
she
yeah.
was
I
the
know what you mean. Yeah.
blonde. No. Yeah, she
Brunette
was
Is
one, wasn't she?
Bailey, right?
brunette.
Yes.
Yeah.
Played by Debbie Ryan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. Yeah.
I think one of my biggest childhood crushes was Debbie Ryan, just because of that series. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Oh,
was blonde.
yeah.
I'd say she was blonde.
Jade from Victorious, Oscar says in Ben's chat.
Ooh,
Jade. Which
that
one was
is-
Jade?
Jade was the like the slightly, I want to say slightly emo-y girl, even though she wasn't.
Oh,
but-
yeah. I know what you mean. I mean, if we're gonna
The
go
bit
to
of a
Victorious and
badass
say
one, yeah.
childhood crushes, you've got to point out Ariana Grande.
No.
Childhood crush.
I don't know.
Victoria. Victoria Vega. Victoria Vega. What are we not going to?
I mean, yeah. I wouldn't say she's one of my childhood crushes.
Oh,
Alright.
ooh.
Right, Patrick has just put one out there. We mentioned it earlier, I think, but Kim Possible.
We did. Oh, Kim Possible,
Yeah.
where she's wearing the black dress in
Yeah.
the episode where she's dating Ron,
Mhm.
and
Mm-hmm.
oh, mama.
Yeah, Elliot actually agrees with me for once.
Think
Victoria's
the-
overrated.
The only ginger
Mm.
that's been attractive.
No, gingers are attractive. Fuck you.
Gingers are attractive. How dare you?
Alright, I'll stand down from that. There we go.
Two against one,
Oh,
bitch.
no. we realized a few weeks ago me and Dalton have the same type, and it's a very specific type. Yes, James Jade was the scary-ish one. Who the fuck is Trina from Victorious?
Yeah, Geek, what are you on about?
I don't recognize that character name. On the topic of kids, I'm gonna say kids show. It's not a kids show. Oh, it is, but it very much is. But do any of you watch Glee?
Yeah,
No,
did watch Glee back in the day.
I didn't.
So, oh, it's such a fucking obvious one, but fucking, what's her name? Was it Brittany?
Yeah, like the main girl. Oh, wait, Brittany?
No, Brittany.
No,
Brittany Pierce.
I don't know.
Oh, you're talking about Rachel.
Yeah,
Oh, her nose was weird.
Brittany
Her
from
nose was
Glee.
way weird.
Let's have a little look.
It was the blonde pairing out of Santana and Brittany. One of the two cheerleaders.
This is when the internet on my phone decides to stop working. I think I know which one you're on about, though.
Yeah. Also Santana as well.
Santana. Which one was she?
The Latino one.
Oh, yeah.
Is
I
the
get
best
you.
way to describe how I
Yeah.
feel. Also,
There
and
we
I
go, let's have a look.
know Dalton would agree with me on this one. Supergirl.
Yeah,
Melissa
Melissa
Benoist.
Benoist. The open
It's a-
whatever you say
it's
now.
w-
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't
'cause
know,
It's such
but
a weird.
yeah.
It's
yes,
one of
I
the two,
agree.
yeah. But
And Grant
Oh,
Gustin has to be
lordy.
put out there for the ladies as well.
oh yes, Grant Gustin.
Yeah.
If none of the girls know who Grant Gustin is, I'll put an image up for you now. This man
Gustin's a man.
is a sex of a man.
Yes.
Look
Plays
at
the
this
Flash in
man.
the TV show.
Yeah, he plays the Flash. He's a
That
very
was
good actor.
originally in Glee.
So was Melissa. Both Melissa Benoist Benoit and Grant Gustin were in Glee originally.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
Which I only found out a few years ago, but it was like, oh. Ooh. Going back to a show that I forgot about earlier as well. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Which was your favorite girl from that, if you'd watched it?
The favourite girl from that? I mean, I have to search it up. It was a long time ago.
I do know. I'm trying to think of a name. I think it's the same as Aaron, to be honest.
I think it
Suki.
is. I think Suki. Yep.
Yeah.
Suki.
She looks weird.
What,
are you on?
Suki?
Yeah, just searched up.
No.
No.
Suki, come on.
No.
She's like pale white. Unless it's just come
Good
out
boy.
with.
You will like season 3 Katara then, or Ty Lee maybe.
Oh, yeah, Tylee. I was going to say it's Tylee.
Yeah, but Ty Lee's the obvious one, isn't it?
Okay, Katara. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Fine.
Search up Tylee. I think you'll like it.
How do you spell that one?
EY space Lee.
Okay.
Although I don't know, this
I
is a
dunno.
popular one for all the girls. Zuko, especially season 3 Zuko, where he's really awkward and like, "Oh hi, I'm Zuko. You probably know me from when I was hunting you."
So Georgia said she proper fancied the boss bitch with guns from Wreck-It Ralph. If anyone knows what she's talking about.
I've not. I watched Wreck-It Ralph once.
Yeah, same.
I've typed in the boss bitch from Wreck-It Ralph and
Not
it's not-
Princess Penelope.
not coming up with
right?
anything.
Sergeant Calhoun, the blonde bitch, because I can see that. Because it's the only one that doesn't look like a 5-year-old.
Oh yeah, okay.
Please tell me this one your girlfriend's on about.
Yeah, I think so. The short blonde hair.
Guy says Minnie Mouse.
Oh, gee.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you okay?
He's in a different generation, it's fine, let him be.
Yeah. Bless you.
Bless his heart.
Bless you.
He's not gonna know what we're talking about.
Ooh.
Oscar's
Ooh.
put Pingu's girlfriend.
Does anybody else have a shout out to another program before I call another one? Because I have many in my head.
No, I think the floor is all yours.
So Pokemon girls. May, Misty, Dawn.
Misty. Has to be Misty
Oh.
for me.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Is that controversial? I don't know.
It's not controversial. It's
Again,
it's
I
between.
didn't
It's usually
really
between
watch
May and
Pokemon,
Misty.
so I feel like this is your area of expertise.
I watched it for a long time, but I do remember Misty. And yeah.
I think mine has to be. I have to go with May, you know. Which I think most people
It's
won't keep
understandable.
me for.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Guy, we have already talked about the woman from the third Transformers movie. Don't worry.
I like how he put saucy afterwards.
Saucy. Pink Power Ranger. Oh, the OG Pink Power Ranger. Yes, that blonde bitch was fire. Blonde brunette bitch. Oh no. Dalton, you watch Teen Titans, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I can remember much about it, but I did, yeah.
What the fuck? Characters' names? Raven or Starfire?
Oh, Starfire.
Yes.
Yeah. It's gotta be
Although I do
Starfire.
feel as though, yeah.
Particularly the
Ben
new
just did,
Teen
like-
Titans movies and whatever.
I'm just casually
Oh, the
typing
animated
up
ones.
all of these people searching.
just like checking our if we're okay in the head.
Which is no, but
No, we're not.
I mean, having searched them up, I would agree. Starfire. You know, you're not wrong to choose.
Mm-hmm.
If we look at the new animated movies and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh,
I was on the fence when I was younger, but now that I've grown up a little bit, Sava.
well, the new animated stuff they're
Oh yeah,
putting towards
100%.
adults anyway, and yeah, they're definitely trying to please the adult generation.
Ooh, here's one. Out of the Star Wars girls.
Ooh.
Princess Leia.
You got Leia, Padme.
I would say young Padme.
Princess Leia. Gotta be
Really?
Carrie Fisher. Yeah, come on, Carrie Fisher back in the day.
I don't know. I would say Padme.
I've got to back young Padme maybe.
Yeah,
know?
young. Yeah, look, so I've got a side by side of young Carrie Fisher and young Padme, and yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm sticking to my guns here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm outnumbered. Don't like this. I mean, all I'm going to say is Padme is basically just a remake of Leia. Just saying.
Nah. You're mad.
So
No, I'm trying to wind people up.
yeah, Oscar agrees. Padme, 100%.
I've got to throw a shout in there for a character that isn't in any of the films, but she's in the comics. Mara Jade, if you've ever read the book.
I know who you're on about.
Mara Jade.
Yep.
Let's have a look. Okay.
Like,
These are from the comics.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And is it? Oh, what's her name? Is it Anya Solo? Like, who's supposed to be the other descendant? And Sabine Wren. Ooh, lordy.
Sabine Wren, yeah.
Sabine Wren from Rebels. Like, I'll put that in my basket.
I haven't had that said in a long time.
I haven't heard that in a long time as well. I was like, it came to my head. I was like, oh yeah,
It's going straight in my basket.
that's in my basket.
Oh, Pat's saying Natalie Portman. Yeah, we brought up Pirates of the Caribbean earlier.
Yeah,
But that's
Natalie Portman. Oh lordy, should we just go through the actresses?
I was gonna say Keira Knightley was the one from Pirates of the Caribbean, but they look very similar.
Well, Natalie Portman and Keira Knightley?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. They're two very similar looking people.
Yeah, I can see it.
It's one of those whole Margot Robbie and the actor from Sex Education.
Oh, I know who you mean. Yeah. Wait, which do you mean, Johnny? That neither are a girl. What do you guys think about Zoe Saldana?
Yes.
I don't know, but here we go. There's on my stream for comparison. I'll bring it up in a second. Let's have a little look.
Oscar says Daisy Ridley.
Daisy Ridley,
Daisy
Ray.
Ridley, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go for comparison.
Ooh.
So they do look very similar, facial features wise.
Yeah, I can see it. I can definitely see it.
I mean, this picture in particular, you know, it's basically the same person.
See it, yeah. Okay, yeah, I can see it.
But yeah, I know this is getting slightly out of the realm of childhood crushes, but what do you think of the character from Sex Education? She's called Maeve or something, but I
haven't watched it.
Have to try and remember. You haven't watched it? Wow.
Purely on the basis that the character is 16, I would have to say that it is an average individual.
But on the basis of the actor, or the actress, should I say?
Well, how old is the actress?
How old
She's
is the
probably
actress?
Like 25, 26.
I'm googling this before I say anything. Emma Mackey is 25. She is
There
fit
we
as
go.
fuck. Oh no, yeah, like
But I think because
the dark hair and the face, like
Yeah.
angles. Oh lordy.
because she looks like Margot Robbie, I think that's where like the link is.
Yeah, I get that. From childhood, Hayden Panettiere.
Mm-hmm.
Panettiere. How do you say her name?
Who's that? Who are we talking about?
Hayden Panettiere. She's
Hayden-
Vladimir
yeah,
Klitschko's
She
ex-wife.
was in Heroes.
She's in Heroes.
Yeah. She
We've
was in
talked about this
Nashville
before.
as well, wasn't she?
I think so, yeah.
She was also in Scream 4 or 3.
Can't
One of
remember.
the two. I think she's also in a video game, but I can't remember which one. She's in Until Dawn. A quick Google search
Okay.
tells me. Yeah, she. Yeah, I. It's one of the games I might stream at some point if I get a console or an emulator, but yeah. Hayden Panettiere. Oh lordy. That is an old school crush from me.
Right, have we exhausted the list of childhood crushes at this point?
I think we might have,
I
yeah.
think we
I think
have.
we have
yes.
it done. Okay, well, we have one final topic left of the evening. And again, with the theme of childhood events, these are going to be your childhood enemies. Or, people that you just despised as a child.
I think we have to hear the story of the girl next door.
Well, from me,
Yeah.
well,
Yep.
let's throw off, it's not a girl next door, it's a dude.
Oh, is the dude
Oh.
okay?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, this is the person that I used to go to their house and, would use them for their Sky and their Nickelodeon. And also going back to the whole childhood game of Cars, which I thoroughly enjoyed. He used to come over to my house, and bearing in mind I was like, 7, 8, 9, 10, I wasn't really aware of what was going on at the time. But he used to come over to my house and he would steal things from me because I used to say no to coming and playing outside in like our cul-de-sac area when he would come and knock on our door, because I used to enjoy like playing this particular game and playing tech. Do you know what tech decks are? The little skateboards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember Ted Decks, yeah.
So on 2 occasions, I basically caught him stealing / had stolen these particular
Your
items.
text.
So this Cars game, I loved it to bits. I probably bought it for Christmas or something. And I went over to his house one day because we were going to play on his PlayStation 2. And I saw that there were 2 of these Cars discs on top of like his shelf where he kept his PS2 games. And for the week previous, I had lost my Cars game. I couldn't find it anywhere. I was so upset. And I just couldn't find it for the life of me. My mum was like, "Oh, you've just misplaced it, you've lost it." And I see that he's got a second one on his desk. So I confront him about it. I was like, "Where did you get that second Cars game from? Like, why have you got 2?" And he was like, "Oh, my uncle bought it for me the other week." And I was like, "Why would he do that if you've already got one?" And boy, this started my hatred. I was fueled. I couldn't stand the kid at this point. But we stayed not friends, but we didn't really have anyone else to hang out with in the neighborhood, so we stayed friends. And then it was probably like a year later, I had these tech decks that I'd inherited from my brother, and they obviously meant a lot to me. My brother had gone away to the Navy. I didn't have him around at home much, so I had these tech decks that I played with, and they used to be his. And one day, I went over to his house again, same sort of scenario, and there on the kitchen table are these 2 tech decks, and I'm like, wow, these look really similar to the ones that my brother gave me. And you know, they're old school tech decks. You couldn't buy them anymore. They weren't like the ones that they used to sell.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, these are my tech decks. This little bitch has stolen my tech decks. And I confronted him about it. And he was like a couple years older. He was probably like 2 or 3 years older, and he was a bit of a bigger build. I'm quite a skinny lad at this point. I still am.
Aye.
So I'm like, what the fuck do I do? Like, he stole my tech decks. How could he? And I talked to his mum and I say, these are my tech decks. Why has he got them? Like, he's stolen them. And his mum's like, no, they're his. What are you on about? And she was a bitch as well. I'm gonna straight up call her that. Can't stand the woman. And this kid has stolen my tech decks. Can you believe it? So, from that point on, never friends with him ever again. Hated the kid. And one day, probably like 3 or 4 years later, the police come knocking on our door and they say, the chip shop that, you know, is across the road from you was broken into a couple of nights ago. Do you know of anyone that might have, you know, broken into it and stolen all of this money? And I knew that this neighbor, along with some other random kid from the neighborhood, had broken into it and stolen this like 400 quid or whatever. So there we go. There was my revenge.
Poetic justice.
Yeah, poetic justice. He got what he deserved. But yeah, that is a real childhood enemy right there. You can't steal another man's tech deck.
You could feel the pent up aggression in that story.
There's genuine
really
like anger. Yeah. And to this day, he never gave the stuff back, so still mad at him.
Fuck him.
Yeah. Right. Well, that was a nice little story. I'll let you guys carry on.
Do you have a childhood enemy?
I've got too many.
So there's this kid called Ollie.
No, I've got one. I won't say his name. Actually, no, to be honest, I don't really care if I do or not. He's
I'm
dick.
just gonna go get some whiskey, but I can still listen to you.
Yeah. So we've always been enemies. I remember going to like, what's the word for it? Not preschool.
Nursery.
No, after
a reception. Reception.
Oh. Years 1 and 2, whatever that is. Yeah. We went there together. Then he went to school called Chancellor Park. I went and continued in the school we were in. I moved to Molsham, and I didn't really see him again until I started playing football. And we played for opposite teams. I'd see him then, and he was always a dick. And his dad was just basically, we used to call him a wannabe Johnny Depp.
Right.
Because he dressed exactly the same as Johnny Depp, had the same facial hair, glasses, like the hat, everything. Just loved Johnny Depp and wanted to be him. And he was a knobhead, had loads of money and just thought he could throw money around and whatever. That's why this kid ended up the way he did. But then, like when we were about 14, this kid started like being one of them dickheads that would like hang around the corner smoking in the school and all this sort of thing, and just being a knob.
Yeah.
And I told my dad that I'd seen him out with his mates and everything on the streets, like hoods up, smoking and all this sort of thing. And from one of the games, when we were playing against his football team, he was giving me a mouthful of abuse before the game. My dad was there and he was listening to him over, and he was just letting it be. His kids do whatever they want.
Yeah, it is what it is
of
football.
But he was taking it in and he was realising what was going on. And he knew from other stories I've said in the past about him that we just don't get on. I hate him, he hates me, and whatever. And he was running down the line about 15 minutes in and ran past my dad, but he was blowing, like really badly, out of breath and all this sort of thing. And as he stopped, once he lost the ball and everything, he stopped right in front of my dad. My dad just went, "That's what the fags you've been smoking, mate." And he turned around and like his face went red, like he was angry, didn't realise who had said it. And my dad's quite a tall lad. He's 6'1", big, bald, reasonably built, not muscly, but he's big framed. And kind of like this guy's gone. He's looked around, and this 14-year-old kid's looked up at my dad and gone to like basically have a go, and realised who he was looking at.
Who he was talking
6'1",
to. Like,
big,
shit,
bald bloke. And he just sort of looked down, just carried on walking, and I was sitting on the sideline like,
that walk of shame
get in.
when you know that you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and my dad was just laughing at him.
Oh,
Then his dad came over at the end of the game and had a go at my dad, and my dad just basically told him to fuck off.
Yeah,
Like,
serves him
your
right.
son's a prick. Yeah. Then he carried on, and like I'd see him every now and then, whatever. And he, in college, broke my best mate Matt's jaw in college because he
Jeez,
was
okay.
like he was a road man and whatever.
Yeah.
And one of this kid's mates, was just having an argument with my mate Matt. And college, he's just come out of the fucking library and just smacked my mate Matt without being involved in it whatsoever. Just wanted to back his mate up but in the middle of college, like in the middle of the reception of the college.
Yeah, some people
So
are
there
just
was
so messed
hundreds of kids, tutors, everything there, and witnessed all of it, along with cameras. And he got kicked out of college and whatever. And he was part of a boxing gym, and he got kicked out of the gym and everything. And he got given 6 months. What's it called?
Suspension.
No, community
Community
service.
yeah.
Yeah, he got given 6 months community service for it. Everything. Like he got full on arrested for it. And everything. And then I still see him like down because he till recently when I moved, he lived down the road from me, so I'd always see him and everything. And I remember walking down the alleyway once with my mate Ash, and he's walked past me, and he always used to like, do you know how like wannabe roadmen like stare at you when they're walking past because they want you to look away.
Yeah.
They want you to scare them, be scared of them. I never did with him, because I just thought he's a prat. And I remember walking past him and staring at him. And as I got like level with him, walking opposite ways, I was with my mate Ash, I laughed in his face. And he's turned around and gone, "Oi, what'd you say to me?" And I just said, "Didn't say anything, I just laughed in your face because you're pathetic." And he went, "Say that to me again, I'll take your fucking head off your shoulders," and all this sort of thing. And I just walked away laughing. And my mate Ash is quite scared of him. And I was like, "What are you doing? Why are you saying that to him?" I was like, "He's not going to fucking do anything, is he? It's 2 against 1. What's he going to do?" Like, it was just always petty little things like this. But then there was, I think 3 years ago at a petrol station, there was a shooting where a guy got shot in the petrol station. And then there was like loads of raids and everything that went afterwards around where I live.
Yeah.
And I thought Poetic Justice is perfect because one of the houses that got raided was his flatmates and everything with him. And he got arrested because they had guns in their flats and everything. And now he's in prison, which I find really funny.
That was a big turn of events.
He wasn't involved in the shooting whatsoever. He was just part of that gang.
Yeah.
So then when they tied all the things together and they just shut down that whole gang in like one night, and they did like 27 raids all at the same time across Chelmsford. And he was one of the people that got arrested for it, and he's in prison. I remember my dad showing me the article. He was like, "Have you seen this?" And then his name was on the article as one of the people that got arrested. And I was like, "Get in." So that's my childhood enemy. He's now in prison.
That's certainly something.
Yeah. So go on, Aaron. That's your turn. Follow that.
Ooh, so childhood enemies. Ooh. Okay, so there was this kid in high school that used to bully me. I won't say his name for obvious reasons, but he was a lot bigger than me. He was a lot taller than me, and he used to play rugby and that. He was just a dick, like constantly to me because I was like pretty much just a smaller, weaker version of him, but just funnier. Lol. And he got a lot more attention because he used to bully me, and that's just the way high school was, right?
Yeah, that's what keeps them going,
I
really.
ran into him. Yeah, sorry. This was a constant thing from like year 7 through year 11. Like he bullied me a lot, and I got used to it as one of those. It's just a thing of life, right? I had a conversation with him 2 years ago. I want to say now. It was in my 3rd year of uni. I'd met him on a night out, and we had a massive conversation about how his life was, how my life was, and he basically almost broke down in tears in this nightclub because of how sorry he was about how the way he treated me. He's like, I was a massive dickhead, blah 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 blah. It was just like a massive like, what do you want me to do about it? Like, you did it to me. I grew because of it. You've obviously grown because of it now because you're literally crying in a nightclub, you big welly. Do you want to buy me a shot? And he was like, yes, I'll buy you a... No. I'll buy you a cocktail. I'll buy you a picture of cocktails. I was like, that's the spirit. I want a picture of Godfather, please.
I mean, those are 2 massive examples of how different it can end up after childhood.
Prison or alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been quite lucky that I went away for university and I haven't really seen the people that used to bully me back in
Yeah,
secondary school
so-
and stuff. But I mean,
I literally went
I
to
work
the
in the
next
bar
town for
industry,
uni.
so
but
I
back,
work in the bar
back
industry in the
to
same place I grew up in, so I see them all the fucking time.
back to Dalton's one where he that guy did whatever he did in school and he actually got punished for it. I got choked and strangled by this kid that used to bully me
Oh.
back in primary school, and to the point where I actually passed out and I was taken in an ambulance to the hospital. Nothing was done
fuck.
about it.
Shit.
Nothing was done to the kid. Nothing was said.
Yeah.
Nothing was ever addressed, and it's like the school system is broken completely.
100%.
Yeah. I feel like the college
Like-
system's a lot better though, and I think the only reason why anything was done about it, like my situation where the guy broke my mate's jaw, because it was in front of hundreds of students, tutors, and security cameras in the college.
Yeah, the
Like
problem
it was
is
in the reception.
problem with mine was it was in a classroom. The teacher wasn't present. This was like year 10 or 11, so it was at the point where
Yeah.
he was a little bit bigger than me, definitely stronger.
Mhm.
I just quite a skinny build, so I couldn't really fight back much. But it was basically just me, him, and his friends. So nothing could really be done about it in the sense of like witnesses, people who like saw it. But yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was a turn of
Yeah.
events.
I do have one other enemy. I want to say enemy slash. He was a really nice guy, and I was like, we got on well. It's just so. I told you you were glassy. You said no. Georgia says. Oh jeez. So
tried to
so
be the
you know
bigger man.
my nickname Stimpy comes from when I used to play football. When I was younger, I used to play as a goalkeeper, and I was the smallest goalkeeper in the league with the best clean sheet ratio. Like, I was on like a 40% clean sheet ratio, which was something mad for the league, because like the highest I'd ever seen until I got injured, and then the backup goalie went in and crumbled. But the season after that, because I couldn't land on my right arm as much as I used to be able to, I got moved to left back. And there's this guy on a team that we played often, because it's like one of the teams you used to train against. If you know, like younger Sunday league teams, you always used to have like this local team that you used to train with to like help both the teams. This guy was their right mid, and on the pitch we were like absolute enemies because we both counteracted each other. So I used to play a very, if you know football now, an Andy Robertson role where you'd run up the wing and cross in.
That was the same.
But
I
I
was that same role,
always used to cut in on my right and cross it in. Like it'd be a whipping thing and all that. I ended the season with 24 assists or something stupid. But he was the polar opposite to me. He was very aggressive as a right wing. He was very like in my face. And between the two of us, when we played against each other, I think it amounted in 25 training sessions. There was 32 yellow cards and 4 red cards between the two of us.
Fuck it out.
Like we went at each other. Off the pitch, we were really good friends. I don't talk to him now, but we used to talk quite a lot because it was just like we used to give each other tips and stuff because we used to help each other out. And because we were local teams for each other, we never played against each other because we were in different leagues.
Yeah.
So they were in the league above us, and I subbed for them a few times as the left back. So I was always crossing to him. So we had a really good chemistry when we played together. I don't know why I didn't move team, but it was always really good against us. But on the pitch, dire enemies. Like we literally go at each other. So you've seen the whole headbutt situation with Zidane,
with the
right?
referee. Oh,
Yeah.
with Zidane, yeah.
Zidane one, yeah.
With the Zidane one, literal recreation of that when we were like 14. He headbutts me. I go down to the floor, but whilst I'm falling to the floor, kick him in the nuts.
Ooh.
Reckless.
So we're both on the floor. I'm holding my head. He's holding his crotch, and we're just like neither of us can get up. We both get like, I got like stretchered off because I thought I had concussion, and he just hobbled off in pain. And then we both walked back onto the pitch and sat in the sidelines and just laughed with each other and like just drank a bottle of beer with each other. It was quite fun. So it was a very much a frenemies situation, but like
Yeah.
it got very violent at times.
Yeah. Oh shit.
So I think Dalton's story was the worst.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say
yeah.
Dalton's story definitely.
I mean, the
Top-
guy's in
top of the
prison, so.
I wouldn't even think where the guy that strangled me was doing now. Definitely went down a different path.
Yeah.
Oh, probably, yeah.
All involved in a lot of drugs and stuff.
Most probably.
There's nothing wrong with drugs apart from the illegal aspect.
Right, well, I don't have any more particular topics to talk about.
I don't have any more particular. Is there any comments or questions in the chats that would like to be answered? Because we have both chats open, so he is enjoying these stories whilst he eats his food. Apparently,
Love that. That's what we're here for.
he uses paracetamol for some reason, but I don't know why.
So Kayla has missed that entire story, but I'm sure she can watch it back on the YouTubes.
She can watch it back on the VODs or the YouTube
Yeah.
or the TikTok. There'll be some sort of recording somewhere. Try throwing a chair at someone you hate. Ooh, I said this. Oh, I've got one more story, and I said this in the VC last night. So Dalton knows what this is. This is the Argos story.
Okay.
So I used to be a team leader at Argos when I used to work there when I was like 17, 16. I went very high up in the ranks because I'm organized and know what I need to do. I for sure like to see a Tinder or a relationship podcast. We'll get on that. We'll sort it out. It's fine. So yeah, basically, I was training up this girl called Kate, or Katie, or something, and she was really nice. And me and her were having a laugh whilst we were on like customer services, talking to each other. And this one customer comes up, 100% a Karen, right?
God, Karens.
And she's like, "Oh, I bought this bike for my son for Christmas, and it didn't come built." I was like, "Okay, two things, Karen. One, you had to pay extra for it to be built and sent to your house. And two, I think I did say on stream, Guy, but I'll say it again. And two, it's April. You're past the return date. What are you here for?" I was like, "Oh, but I want a return because you promised it to be built." I was like, "I didn't promise it to be returned because I can clearly see here you did not pay for it to be built for you." And she got very angry with me, and then I can't calmly explain it to her. She kind of seemed okay with it. So me
Yeah.
and Kate started talking. We started knocking everything off the till. Next thing we know, I hear a shout from my friend across the store. I think it's Ben. I can't be exact. It might have been Adam or one of the other guys. This lady pulls a tire out of the box and flings it at me and Katie. I
Jesus
grab Katie
Christ.
by her collar / her ponytail and pull her down to the ground as I kind of like army flop onto the ground with myself. The bike flies over our heads and crashes into the pile of items that are on like the back shelf that are to be served
Yeah.
to people. So like in Argos back in the day anyway, like items used to be stacked on shelves behind the counter where you served.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the tire goes crashing into there. I stand back up, say, "Katie," whilst I'm on the floor, I say, "Katie, stay down here." I stand up, and say, "What the fuck are you doing?" This person like flat just tries to like throw a tire at us, and I'm like, oh lordy, I don't really know what to do in this situation. At this point, one of my colleagues runs out across the road to Curry's in Leeds. So this is I think this is in Leeds. It might have been Bradford, where I used to work. But she runs out to one of the stores opposite, grabs a security guard, and the security guard comes coming over. Me and the guy that called it out are restraining this woman from throwing any more stuff at any of the colleagues or anything. Because it's the bikes, there's like metal frames and stuff. So we're like,
This sounds mental.
we need to make sure that she doesn't hurt anyone.
Yeah.
So we're like, yeah, we were like restraining her. The security guard comes on her. tackles her to the floor. I'm like, thank you. We don't think that was necessary, but thank you. She comes in 2 weeks later and speaks to my manager about it, and she's like, "Oh, I spoke to the person that was supposed to be managing that shift, and he was really rude to me." Blah 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 blah. And I just straight like, I've seen the clips, I've seen the recording. You are really rude. You throw a bike tire at two of my colleagues. Get out my fucking store before I call the police. The police gets called on her. She gets arrested for assault. I get called into the police station for questioning, and I kind of let her off because I think it felt bad. Because, like, she was just annoyed that the Christmas present went wrong. Like, I see it all the time.
Yeah, but there's being annoyed that your Christmas present went wrong. And then there's
Yeah,
being
then
an insane
trying to
woman
hurt
for
someone.
trying to throw a tire at someone's head. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
So I'm a very forgiving person. So I was like, yeah, sure. There's this, and this. Just as long as she doesn't come into my store again, I'm fine with it. So she's got a restraining order against me. I've got a restraining order against her. And so does Katie.
Well then,
Which is
that's,
fun. I never thought I would be a person that has a restraining order against someone, but it's fun.
no.
It's fun. Also, Sontoriso, thank you for the follow. How are you doing, my friend?
Well, I think that was a pretty intense story to end the first podcast
Yeah,
on. I
and the-
think this is the end of the first podcast, the end of the beginning for us, really.
Yeah. End of the beginning. Fucking
Yeah.
hell.
It's been a whirlwind. It's a great first episode. I think we covered a lot of interesting topics tonight. We've definitely got a lot
Yeah,
more that
definitely.
we've thought about in the process that we can cover in the coming weeks, coming months. As we said at
100%,
the
yeah.
start of the stream, this is going to be hopefully a fortnightly thing that we can put together. We'll be streaming it pretty much every time we do
yeah.
it, and then the recordings will be going live onto YouTube and TikTok.